October 2024, Google commissioned 7 Kairos reactors to add 500 megawatts to the US grid, operated by Kairos themselves. The first SMR is expected to come online by 2030, with additional units planned through 2035. Meanwhile, Amazon has teamed up with the power utility consortium Energy Northwest to commission and run 4 SMRs from X Energy, totaling 320 megawatts in the initial phase. And Amazon ultimately aims to bring about 5 gigawatts of X Energy SMRs online in the US by 2039. Google and Amazon's approach of adding energy to the grid offers far more flexibility than Microsoft's strategy of purchasing the entire output of a single nuclear reactor. They purchase only the energy they need, with excess energy sold into the grid by the utilities operating those reactors. This boosts access to low-carbon energy in local communities and helps offset hefty upfront costs of building SMRs. Plus, additional reactors can be added over time to scale power production as energy needs grow. But there's a catch. These shiny new SMR designs still need regulatory approval from the U.S. Nuclear Regulatory Commission, or NRC, before they can be built. A major barrier to the low-cost assembly line manufacture of SMRs is the regulatory complexity involved in sourcing materials for nuclear reactors. They also conflict with global ambitions to boost nuclear power. At COP28, 22 countries, including the United States, pledged to triple nuclear capacity by 2050 compared to 2020 levels. And then there's the fuel issue. Since the 1990s, most nuclear fuel production has been outsourced to Russia. After the invasion of Ukraine, companies like X Energy have had to delay licensing and start dates due to a lack of nuclear fuel. In response, 5 nations, including the US, are mobilizing $4.2 billion to establish a global enrichment uranium market independent of Russia. But these solutions will take time. So far, only one SMR design has received certification. NuScale Power's 77 megawatt reactor, which used the same technology as larger traditional reactors. Getting that approval took a decade and cost $500 million.
You're always welcome.
Inflation and rising interest rates nearly
I'm just doing some syndicate missions right now because my
company couldn't secure enough customers to keep the project afloat.
new loco is kind of low.
The NRC claims it's working to improve.
I gotta bring it back up.
Of Kairos Power's Hermes test reactor in just 18 months.
Echo? I have an Echo.
This is a non-powered test reactor.
I'll check it out at the next place.
Performance-based evaluations, the kind of approach needed to bring advanced SMR technologies from
It was probably because the mic was so far away.
The rise of generative AI and explosive growth of data centers have sparked renewed interest
I had to move it close to me.
in nuclear plants and the development of newer, safer SMRs.
It was turned towards the other desk.
Working on visiting one of these facilities to get a look inside. So stay subscribed and keep
Yeah, it was because it was way over, like,
near. So it's like nowhere near me right now.
and so now it's actually near my face. I'm running into a wall.
For new nuclear plants will depend on both technological progress and regulatory approval. One thing is clear: if AI is going to reshape the world, it's going to need a lot of watts to do it.
Well, there was a long ways between me and the microphone, so yeah, it kind of makes sense.
Let me know. And be sure to listen to my follow-up podcast, Still to be Determined, where we'll keep this conversation going. And thanks as always to my patrons for your continued support and helping to keep the channel going. Keep your mind open, stay curious, and see you in the next one.
You're playing Cyberpunk? It's a good game. I like Cyberpunk. I played it multiple times. However, I always default back to my overpowered build that I made. If it works, it works, you know. Like, I wanted to do something different the last time I played, and I went right back to my whole peaceful playstyle because it's just so fun and it's so overpowered. I'm sorry. You turn off my right-hand display. I was learning some stuff about a little bit more background information about the nuclear reactors, the small nuclear reactors, using to power buildings and stuff, and big ones. Just current talking points. Current hubbub. Ah, little bastard. I walked into him.
working on it. Continue to defend. Heavy robotic signature detected. Lock and load. The odds were against us, Tenno, but we did it. Mission complete. Mission complete. Excellent work, Tenno.
Remember, Valentine's Day is coming up. Don't forget. So I'm kind of wanting to send a video to the wife. We watched this particular squirrel that's kind of insane. It keeps trying to like make people better and failing. So then he just wants to kill people. It's a great squirrel. And he made a song recently about Valentine's Day. I've been thinking about sending that one to the wife.
It's Valentine's Day, but I'd like to say it doesn't always have to be about what you think it should be. I don't need candy or chocolates, though I won't turn them down. I don't need flowers or cards, though they'll never get a frown. It's Valentine's again, and what can I say? I'm not sure I care for it. It just feels like another holiday. I think at all our core, we all want a little more than the things we're expecting to be bought. It's a day about love, not about stuff. It's a day to be kind, not manipulate minds. All the candy and treats on this day you think needs to sweep one off their feet to get them in the sheets. If that's really all it is, then skip the expensive dinner. The flowers, cards, and candies, just stay at home and give yourself a, well, you'll just save a bunch of money that way. Think about it. It's Valentine's again, and what can I say? I'm not sure I care for it. It's just another holiday. And why say you care on just the one day when you can
That's a good point.
a little every day? Make a cup of coffee or tea for the one you love each week. Some dinner after a hard day. A nice message while they're away. It's simple things that we need throughout the year. Why wait for a holiday that's stressed and feared? The waste of the money for a little bit of honey, though you won't get any complaints from me.
That's how I kind of feel about it. I'd rather express those sentiments every day, all the time, instead of on just one day. And I do like that line, the waste of the money for a little bit of honey.
Get ready for a capsule. Additional life support has arrived.
I want to play music. I don't think I can.
Tenno, prepare for life support. Another life support capsule is now available.
That was a swing and a miss.
Another life support capsule is now available.
Need another video.
Yeah. I thought you liked men, not women. You thought I liked men, not women? Oh, sir, the disappointment in your voice. I realise you have probably shouted that out with just a Salt Bay pinch of homophobia there. But you've made yourself sound incredibly fucking gay, mate. Oh no, he's got all these stories about fucking girls. No, it doesn't matter. Thought he might like me. I like girls. Like you pretend to. Why do I laugh backwards? I mean, that is a great question. I have a theory on this. Okay, now I can't swear to it, but you've all seen the movie Aladdin, right? And the guy rubs the lamp and the genie comes out and he grants the kid a wish. Obviously, the genie is from the Middle East, right? Alibaba and the 40 Thieves, it's all that kind of thing, right? So there's going to be a language barrier. I think at some point I met a genie and I got a wish, and now there's been a mix-up in translation, and instead of being hung like a donkey, I laugh like one. How long have I been a comedian? What is it? Sorry, you're not from HMRC, are you? I've got to be super fucking careful here. You're going to start dragging up cash in hand gigs. Look, you ain't seen me, right? If anyone else, you ain't fucking seen me. I think like 25 years.
I just wondered if this was the first go.
You just wondered if this was the first go. This motherfucker thinks I don't have jokes about cripples. I don't even fucking like vegetables. Hang on, I've got a friend in as well. Where's the other guy? Huh?
I've got a friend.
Colleagues. Where is he?
I'm up here.
You're up there? Okay, hey, how are you? You all right? Got a mate of mine's at the show. He's also in a chair. If you're up for it. Robot Wars? Should we... Do you want to... He's going to fuck you up. Not that you aren't already fucked up. Battle of the broken toys, come on. Sorry, there's a couple of very nice ladies in the front row going, are we allowed to laugh at this? Yeah, of course you fucking are. Can you please heckle my mate Alan for pissing on my daughter's bedroom floor after a night on the lash? Mark. Alan? Alan? Hi, Alan. If you're going to do water sports with your mate's daughter, put a fucking sheet down or something. Disgraceful set of affairs. Did you think you were walking into the bathroom?
No, we were sleeping.
You were sleeping?
Not with his daughter.
Not with his daughter.
Now I'm more confused.
Social services need to get involved. What? You were sleeping and you've done a wee. You need to get your prostate checked. Yeah, you need to get yourself fingered, mate. There's no... Sorry you had to hear it from me. How old are you?
53.
53, about the same age as me. Have you had your prostate checked recently?
No.
Right.
Right.
Doctor is going to finger your bum. You are not going to love it. That's the best case scenario. Worst case scenario, at 53 as you go, ooh. I feel alive. That's going to be a lot of admin. Good luck. I don't mind paying tax when, especially when our country is in such safe hands. I mean, for fuck's sake. Fucking limp dick that guy is. Every time. What, sorry? You did say president first, though, didn't you? So. I know you corrected yourself. I know you did. I know, it's such a shame, isn't it? I should run for prime minister. Oh, those tax rates would be low. I think I might win. I think people might get in the booth and go, fuck it, this guy's on our side. Oh, can you imagine? Place would be. Yeah, we're scrapping all that. HMRC have now been locked up. What?
Why aren't you coming to Canada, forcing me to come here?
Why aren't I coming to Canada?
With this tour.
With this tour. Okay, on the 2nd, 3rd, 4th and 5th of January, I played 4 hockey arenas in a country called Canada. But before like 2 weeks ago, before that, I'd only been there in November, October and September of the previous year, playing a total of 12 shows, count them, across the fucking country. You've come here to see me. What have you got, a carbon footprint like a fracking Wookiee? It's on the website, sir. Fucking search it before you go buying a plane ticket. Hey Jimmy, my best mate Sam has had a horrible year. His engagement broke off, and soon after he had a motorbike accident that nearly killed him and left him in a rehab centre for 2 months. As laughter is the best medicine, can you laugh at him for me, please? Thanks. This shouldn't be a problem. Where's Sam? Where are you, Sam?
He's in Switzerland.
He's in Switzerland. He's your friend. And is he? Should we send him a message?
Yeah, I think he's got nothing else to do.
He's got nothing else to do. Do you want to call him? Is he there? He might answer. And if he answers, we'll say hello.
Ringing.
He's ringing. Should we just leave a message? Yeah? Tell me when to start. Sam? Hi, Sam. She left you because you can't ride a bike, you fucking idiot. Someone had their hand up over there. Go on, what's...
I was wondering why you spell your name with 2 R's.
You're wondering why I spell my name with 2 R's?
That's how my parents did it.
That's a fair question. It's the anglicised version of an Irish name, O'Correll. So at some point, my country was colonised by the British, and a lot of people changed their names to sound more British. And so I should be Seamus O'Correll, Jimmy Carr. Fine. Where are you from?
I'm from Missouri.
You're from Missouri.
God, he sounds it.
Yes, there's no other Missouris. That is the only Missouri. You don't really need to qualify it with that in America from the world. What are you doing in Milton Keynes? Your travel agent's something of a cunt, isn't he? Jesus. No. No offence to the fine city of Milton Keynes. I mean, you've got a lot of roundabouts in Milton Keynes. Have you noticed that, sir? A lot of roundabouts. You've got the You know why they've got a lot of roundabouts? Because the council here are at least honest. And they're saying to people that are visiting, you sure? You sure you could... Honestly, if
You
want
could
to
just
turn
go
around,
back.
on the motorway in seconds. Are you sure? And then half a mile down the road. You sure you're sure? Because you could... There's nothing going on here. What are you doing here, my friend?
I came to see you.
You came to see me? All right, the Canadian, you're off the hook. Thanks very much. Who are you here with?
My wife, Megan.
Hi, Megan. How are you? Are you from Missouri as well? Okay. It's very nice to see you. Are you doing anything else while you're in the UK?
Nope.
I've got terrible news about my American tour. And the fact I'm coming to Missouri in June.
I'll see you again.
Okay. Thank God. What do you do for a living, my friend?
Military.
Oh, you're military. Well, thank you for your service. What bit of the military are you in?
The Air Force.
The Air Force.
The U.S.
Thank you for your
Yeah.
service. I don't know if you heard that at the back. U.S. Air Force in. Any freedoms that you might take for granted? Down to that guy putting his life on the line. Fucking great. But I like the fact he said Air Force, U.S. Air Force. Like, just to clarify, I'm not in Al Qaeda. Don't worry about that. Fucking great, man. Nice to have you here. I'll think of something to say about America. Obviously, you've got Trump, right?
Yeah.
Also, the great news, he's very, very orange, Donald. Have you ever seen him up close? Like, bright orange. He's been fucking tango. He's very... So technically, he is the second person of colour to become president. You are my girlfriend's crush. Pretty sure she's thought about you while we've been going at it. Her name is Lauren Knight something. Yes, it's a stupidly long name. Also, we're here with our boss, and he doesn't know we're together. Oh, where's Lauren?
Well, now they do.
Have a lights? I'll have a look at Lauren. Hi, where are you, Lauren? I don't think she's not for everyone. But, Lauren, where are you, Lauren? Hi, Lauren. So, what do you do for a living, Lauren?
I work at Screwfix.
You work at Screwfix. Is that like a DIY place or a local brothel? Screwfix would be a great name for a brothel, wouldn't it? So have you guys, and I hate to put you on the spot here, but have you ever fucked at work? Oh, she's checking with him if it's okay to say. You're not checking with him to say, oh, well, look, this is a lovely thing. Because in the papers, right, if you read the mainstream media, you will only ever see stories about sexual harassment in the workplace going badly. Sometimes you honk someone's tits and grab their pussy at work and they like it. Screwfix. The name's in the fucking title. I love it. It's lovely to have you here. Who's the guy? Who's the lucky guy? Oh, nice. Well, I hope you're very happy together. And who's the boss? Where's the boss? Don't be a dick about this, yeah?
Don't be a dick about this, yeah?
Don't be a dick about it, yeah? Sometimes he's going to have to fuck her in the disabled toilets. That's just... that phase of the relationship is probably the first 2 years, absolute maximum, yeah? Just fucking look the other way. That's what the disabled toilet's for, isn't it? If you're not using it, they get the fucking it. That's what that handrail's for, isn't it? That is for more exotic positions. You don't fucking need that. You'd be fine. He's fine with it. You're good. All right. Lesbians. Where are the lesbians? Hello. I can't just call you the lesbians. What's your name?
Danielle.
Danielle. All right, Danielle. I've got next level gaydar. Not only can I tell you're gay, Danielle, I can tell you're the one wearing the strap on. I'm not playing you at pool. You sound like a force to be reckoned with, Danielle. What do you do for a living, Danielle?
I'm a production operative.
A production officer.
Operative.
Operative. A production operative. Well, I know both those words, but I don't know what you do. Go on, what does that mean?
I work for a company called Smyster. I'm working with like leather goods and
You work with leather goods. Danielle, be honest with me. You heard it as soon as you said it, didn't you? I work with leather goods. Who's been a naughty girl? I was right about the strap on, wasn't I?
what do you think of Bonnie?
What do I think of Bonnie Blue? Have I had a stroke? I can't smell toast. I've no idea what... What, sorry?
The young girl who's just slept with 1,000 men.
The young girl that's just slept with 1,000 men? What, in how many hours? 12 hours. Oh, as if I was going to go, what, the full 24 hours? I'm not that impressed. Oh, 12 hours. Interesting. Well, I don't know, we're very judgy about such things. But we've all seen hot dog eating contests. It's no different. Fucking hell.
Fucking hell. It's like your mum's been in the news.
I'm pretty sex positive. I wouldn't judge her for that. I think it's like, I don't know, I presume she made a ton of money doing it, right? It's a weird thing as well. I think there's an odd thing where we slut shame because of numbers. Like, okay, so imagine someone goes on honeymoon and they get fucked for 12 hours straight by their fiance or by their husband, right, on the honeymoon.
You know.
We're not judging that, right? It's all, oh, tremendous. You had a lot of sex over that weekend. Well done. But if you have 12 hours of sex with 1,000 random guys, oh, like, her cunt must be ruined. It's the fucking same. I think you should do it.
I think you should do it.
You'll think about it. Do you mind me asking, madam, and I know this is a personal question, have you got kids?
Yes.
How many you got?
2.
Oh, come on, it's a skydiver's mouth. The fellas won't touch the sides. You had cesareans. Whore. Sorry, you didn't see that. That's so good. Her other half just went. That's a bit of love right there. Was she trying to break a record?
Yes.
She got the world record. What for? Most disappointed dad. Got the most
12 hours.
the most men for in 12 hours. Okay, well, sorry. She broke the world record for most men in 12 hours with 1,000 men. Okay, 1,057. Okay, in second place, 2. She really fucking overcorrected there, didn't she?
No. It's a lot, even second place. It was like 900 and something.
Not great. Oh, wow. And well, there's some slutty looking women in here. Why don't we ask?
Any volunteers? Yeah.
One. Business has been slow, has it?
That's it.
One a day, every day. That's me. Great question. Happy 18th son, Nathaniel. Not a day goes past where I don't wonder if your mum should have swallowed it. £50 extra. Dad, or am I? This is excellent.
Yeah.
Where's Nathaniel? Where are you, Nathaniel? Where's Nathaniel?
Oi.
Your dad's a fucking legend, mate.
Yeah, your dad's a fucking legend, mate.
Man that's 90% sure he's your dad is a fucking legend. What do you do, Nathaniel? Well, you go to college. And what's your plan for life? What are you going to do? Go to uni. I've got shocking news. There is life beyond that. What do you think? What do you want to be? Has this not come up before? No one's ever taken any interest. Okay, go on. What are you thinking? What are you going to study at uni, Nathaniel? Sports science. All right, I'll put not the brightest. Kick a ball. Sports science. What do you want to be? A PE teacher? I know what I like, and I like kids. Well, good on you, whatever you do.
A little choked.
Frankie Boyle.
What, sorry?
I dare you to insult Frankie Boyle.
You dare me to insult Frankie Boyle? Why would I insult Frankie Boyle when I can see you? You look like a before photo for something. I like Frankie. We sort of started around the same time. We used to write on a show called, you remember Distraction? Does anyone remember that? I'm showing my age
Yeah.
now.
Yeah,
Like
I remember
20 years
Distraction.
ago,
It was great.
Crazy TV show, and Frankie was one of the writers on it. That's when I first met him. He's a fucking hilarious dude. I mean, he's quite pale and ginger. Are there ginger people in? Yeah. Some offence, yeah. Right, that's fucking ginger there, isn't it? Look at that. As if you get sunburnt by a crescent moon. Factor 50 for you just to look in the fridge. You need a balaclava to check your iPhone.
I like my balaclava.
A regular person. I remember once, like, we're having a conversation. It was like, apropos of nothing. We weren't on stage. It was just a couple of us hanging around in a bar. And he went, I fucked a homeless woman. I went, what? What do you mean I fucked a homeless woman? What happened? He said, well, I was walking past this homeless woman. I didn't have any change. And you can't just give them nothing. You fucking lunatic. Am I still fucking homeless women? Have you just come to? Have you? Yeah, of course I am, yeah. The great thing about fucking a homeless woman, drop her off anywhere. I once saw a homeless guy getting off a bus and I thought, well, how does he know it's his stop? Shout out to my bisexual missus who won't give me a threesome but got me tickets for Christmas. Cheers, Jen Jen. Where's Jen Jen? Where are you, Jen Jen? Up here, I bet she is. Yeah, that's right. Every hole's a goal. So Jen Jen, are you bisexual? Hi. I like the northern term for bisexual. They don't say bisexual in the north, they say half rice, half chips.
Hello, I'm Jimmy Carr, and I don't want to impose on your day. I know you just watched a clip of me. You probably had enough of me already. But if you could like and subscribe...
No, I laughed a lot. It was fun. I'll come back to you later, Jimmy, for another clip from a different one of your shows. You'll make me laugh. Unread thing in my inbox. What's this? Oh. My actions have consequences. Whatever, man. What else we got going?
Aphrodite's strawberry? I think no, Venus is. Since humankind has started putting 1 and 0 together, we have been ascribing aphrodisiacal properties to all kinds of foods and drinks and whatever. Whether they be pomegranates or figs or bananas, honey, the list goes on. Strawberries. Why do we ascribe these things to? Well, more often than not, it's because they look like naughty bits. And then we associated them with our gods and goddesses of love and fertility and bounty and all that stuff. And we said, well, if that's Aphrodite's strawberry? I think no, Venus is the strawberry. If that's Aphrodite's whatever, surely as hell is gonna help me make it happen. And that's what I want to do to help you get it on. So today I want
Greg,
to
you're being weird.
original cocktails that I came up with that draw on historically recognized aphrodisiacs. Dare I say ancient aphrodisiacs. Dare I say bullshit. So none of these are real, except for the fact that they all are full of alcohol, which is probably the most effective aphrodisiac going. Just saying. Just saying. Now, I want to do these 4 aphrodisiac cocktails for you in basically no particular order at all, except to say that my favorite of the bunch is going to be last in the episode. It's a little bit more involved. I'm going to do it once. I'm very excited about that. It's like my favorite drink I've invented in quite a while. Stick around if you want to see it. But first, I want to start with this thing. I came up with Cupid's arrow. Draws on the supposed aphrodisiac qualities of strawberries and is kind of a variation on a last word. In fact, I had a last word in mind when I started working on this. We're going to need a ½ ounce of lime juice. Also, I've changed up the lighting. I was going for something a little bit moodier. What do you think? You like it? You hate it? Let me know, Lava. Let's get ½ ounce of lime juice according to my notes. We're going to need 1 ounce of a London Dry gin. I happen to be using Bowling and Birch because it is what I had handy. 99% of the time, I'm going to say use Tanqueray for your London Dry gin. It's just sort of, it's standard. It's fine. It's great. It's what you should use. We're going to do 3/4 of an ounce of Marine Quina. This is a bitter, mildly bitter, not terribly sweet cherry quina, actually. Should traditionally have some quinine in it if you're in the UK, or quinine if you're in the US. The stuff that makes tonic, but I have a funny feeling it no longer has that, actually. But anything that's called a quina or a quina, it means that at one time at least had quinine in it. And then I wanted to do the maraschino. I want to use Lazzaroni maraschino here. I think that you'd be fine
3 of 6.
Obviously, I love Luxardo. I wanted to try Lazzaroni. This is a little bit more herbal. I don't actually have Marasca maraschino. That would probably have been even maybe better. Nonetheless, I'm going to go this way. And I'm going to do another 3/4 of an ounce here. Okay. And then I need 2 strawberries. We're going to shake the living hell out of this, so we don't need to muddle the strawberries or cut them or anything. You can just put 2 whole strawberries right in there, because once you shake them, they're gonna be pulverized. Get that in there, crickety crackety crack. Don't break your mama's back. Shake it up.
The area is crawling with infested. If it's not a Tenno, they're rotting.
Get your glass, and you will want to double strain this because of all the fruit pulp that we pulverized in there. I could have probably gotten away with less strawberry. I could have made a strawberry syrup or infusion. I have a device called Spinzall that I'll be using later in the episode that could definitely have made an excellent, and in fact I have used it to make a really good strawberry vodka, but decided I'm going to limit myself to only using the Spinzall for 1 drink in this episode. It's just a little inaccessible. Garnish here as you will. I think that there's a couple different ways to go. A cherry would be tasty, and I don't know, there's some things about a cherry. I think lime wheel would look very pretty on that color. And I think just a chunk of strawberry would be great too. I'm gonna go cherry. One thing to know about Cupid in mythology is arrows kill you. And so I'm gonna use this pick that has a skull on it. And then we have Cupid's arrow, a kind of a loose riff on the last word. And I think a wonderful aphrodisiac. Let's see how she came out. It's so nice. It is not at all syrupy. A lot of times you start getting into something that's got like a strawberry or fruit vibe in a cocktail, and it can become way too sweet. It can become like thick and syrupy, truthfully, cloying. This is light and airy and fresh, and it tastes of fresh strawberries pretty strongly without being overpowering. You still get all of these other notes in there. The gin brings in this kinds of woodsy juniper vibe that is really in tension and I think very nicely setting each other off, the strawberry and the gin here. The maraschino and the marine are bringing a little bit of the sweetness in here, and we need some. This can't have no sweetness, it would be disgusting. So you need to have some sugar to balance it, just the right amount. And they're just throwing in some subtle notes of herbaceousness, of not vegetalness, but like of spiciness. Yeah, let's call it spiciness. Closer to spice than vegetation. Not like hot pepper spice, but like in the direction of a baking spice, an Angostura spice. I really like it. And I think it would be better with Angostura bitters. I think that it's a little bit, it's a wispy cocktail. I like that. It's very wispy, it's very approachable, particularly if somebody both doesn't like strong cocktails and doesn't like overly sweet cocktails. This is gonna be right down the middle there, perfect. But I think it could have just a little bit more hoots, a little bit more oomph, and a couple dashes of Ango are always going to solve that problem for you. That's delicious. And I love any excuse to eat cherries. I'm having a great time.
I agree,
Let's move
Greg.
this along. One thing that's funny is I mentioned the Spinzall just before, and that will come up later in the episode when I do this, my favorite drink of the episode. I actually already shot this episode, and it was very experimental, and a lot of these cocktails, some of these cocktails were invented during that episode. I was kind of flying off the cuff. But I wound up using the Spinzall a lot, which is very inaccessible to most of the audience. It's a really cool device. But I decided, you know what, this episode is a little bit too nerdy, a little bit too experimental for the big, wide world of YouTube. Let's make it a patron exclusive. So if you want to see all of the guts of this episode and a few other cocktails, I have quite a few cocktails that aren't going to show up in it, swing by my Patreon and check that out. You'll get access to that episode, other exclusive content. You're going to get access to the HTD app, which I developed and which is the best way to use my show as your official cocktail guide. And you make this show possible because the show can't exist without you. It is vital to the survival of the show and me being able to do this. This is a full-time job. For those of you who are supporting the show, thank you all so much for doing so. I hope I'm living up to your expectations. This is everything you want it to be. Let's make a drink I call the Between the Knees. Let me try that again. I'm going to make a drink now that I call the Between the... Wait, sorry, let me get this just right now. Let me do this just right, because this is a special way to say this. A drink I call the Between the Knees. I was thinking about some kind of a mashup between a bee's knees and a between the sheets, and it turned into a Between the Knees, which is a scintillating sort of a name. And also it relies on honey, which is a traditional and ancient symbol of fertility. And of course that means sexuality, and it's an aphrodisiac. It also has some cognac in there, which is just a really sexy spirit. Cognac is ooh, it's sexy. We're going to need an ounce of lemon juice. Knifey.
Well executed.
Here we go, 1 ounce of lemon juice. Need 1 ounce of a honey syrup. The reason you make a honey syrup is because honey doesn't pour very well. If you wanted to use honey and just wait to get it into your drink, that's fine. You'd have to use a different measurement, and you can do that math yourself. My honey syrup is 3 parts honey to 1 part water just to help it get pouring, and we're gonna use about an ounce of it.
Nice.
There we go, 1 ounce of honey syrup. I need a 1/4 ounce of a Jamaican rum. I'm gonna use Appleton Estate, although if I had one handy, I might reach for something a little bit funkier. Did I say a 1/4 ounce? I meant a 1/2 ounce. 1/2 ounce of Jamaica, and a 1.5 ounces of cognac. When you mix cocktails with cognac, I mean, obviously don't go crazy on your cognac. Pierre Ferrand makes, I think, probably some of the best price points and cognacs for mixing. Pine isn't terrible. You used to be able to get Pierre Ferrand 1840. I don't see that around anymore. So I don't know. Maybe Curiata has it over at drink.curiata.com. I'm impatient and I buy mostly what I get at the liquor store. But I haven't tried the Ombre before, and I bought that because that's what they had. It is, this is 80 proof instead of 100 proof, and the 1840 was meant to be stronger for another thing.
Down on yourself, Greg.
Pre-prohibition cocktails, because that's how they work. But this is very good. I have no complaints about this at all, and I think this will make you an excellent cocktail. 1.5 ounces here of Pierre Ferrand Ombre, or the cognac of your choice, and an egg white. Precious eggs. So rare these days to find them. Whenever you use an egg white in a cocktail, you should dry shake it, and that just means shake without ice. I used to get questions in the comments, Greg, what do you think about a reverse dry shake, or this or that? Dry shake. You reverse dry shake when you forget to dry shake. There's no, one's not better than the other, but certainly I don't think reverse dry shaking is better than dry shaking. Reverse dry shaking means you wet shake it, and then you pour it back into a shaker dry and shake it again. Sure, if I forgot to dry shake the cocktail, that's what I would just hit some ice. You don't need to use ice like I do. I just have my habits, and one of them is that I use a big chunk of perfectly clear, beautiful ice, and the other one I pulverize. I do that because one time Dave Arnold did a thing. He said that's probably the best way to do your ice, because he did a test on it, and it surprised him. Anyway.
It will only attack when it senses high concentrations of infested blood. Slow the fight if you want it to go away.
Look at that. That's pretty. Let's go with one ahead. Drinks that you shake with an egg white, they will form a head, and it's always good to give them a second to do that. Now, I don't think it's necessary to do this. I just think when I see a big, beautiful white, well, I'm going to leave it alone. A lot of times I would want to put dots of Ango on there and do some design or something like that. It's not necessary, but it is nice to get that scent of Angostura. I think that if I had some candied ginger, of course, that'd be great. Otherwise, I don't know. I don't think this really needs a garnish. Here's to all of you and to getting between me. Essence, aroma, honeyed vibes, long honeyed finish, just a right balance between the honey and the lemon and the stuff like that. You get this, almost takes on a vibe like an Earl Grey tea in there, or maybe just the preparation of an Earl Grey tea because of the lemon and the honey. The egg white gives it this silky texture that froths all throughout it. The cognac is subtle. It's just like, it's like a lover. It's like a seasoned lover, the cognac. It says to you,
hey, Kira.
Whisper to me in my ear all of.
I'll quit listening to silliness. How are you doing? Not bad. Doing some Nightwave, getting some invasion missions done. Listening to some interesting videos here and there. Listen to some stuff on small reactors and listening to a guy talk about some drinks at the moment. I don't really drink, but very rarely, but I do listen to alcoholic beverage stuff. Yeah. Like, they're the small, like, mobile nuclear reactors used to power, like, large buildings, but not much more than that. So they're kind of interesting. Mainly, the topic was the trend now for AI and data centers to like go nuclear. Like Microsoft restarting, I think it's 3 Mile. I forget which nuclear reactor, but they're partnering with a company that already manages a bunch of nuclear reactors to restart one of the dormant reactors that shut down. Yeah, they're kind of cool. When I say small nuclear reactors, they're still like decent size. They're like the size of this. I think some of them are about the size of this room, all in all. But I mean, they're not exactly portable, but they are mobile. Like some of them can be like moved. They're like you load them on a Mack truck kind of thing. They're not like, oh, I'm going to put it in my van. You know? That's why I'm like, they're like the size of the room I'm in kind of thing. Even one of the first nuclear reactors isn't that big. But it just powered the building that it was made in. Like the first nuclear reactor, it eventually just powered the building. And it wasn't large. So yeah, but yeah, they're kind of cool in general. And so I was listening to a guy talk about, not just small ones, but the push by tech because we need more power faster. And this coal shit ain't going to do it, at the rate at which we're going to need it. But nuclear will. Oh, and like the first nuclear reactor was really cool because it made more fuel than it used, which was kind of nifty. That the process of it running made more fuel than it used in it producing power. Yeah, the SMRs. Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. Most of it is the cooling because that's what you need to do. You have to take the heat and then use it. But yeah. And you're not going to get the same amount of, power out of it as you would out of a big one, but you will get a significant amount of power out of it. And that's the point. You can get a lot of power. And some of the places are like Microsoft wants to buy all the power from the big nuclear power plant for itself. But some of these are like, we're going to hook up, a couple of these to a building, and then any excess power we'll put back onto the grid. Yeah, it's stable power. And then the excess power, like for a couple of the things, are like, yeah, we're going to hook up a couple of these, and then we're going to, data center, and any excess power we'll push back onto the grid. And so, kind of nifty stuff in general. And they're not like, like I said, the cooling apparatus is like, this big. But the core, yeah, not that big. But like I was talking about the first, I was watching a good thing the other day where somebody was giving a tour. I don't remember if it was like Veritasium or if it was, I want to say maybe it was like Veritasium was on tour at like, I don't remember who it was, but somebody was on tour at like the first nuclear power plant. And they were going over the process where you have like a material that when it the material they pick loses its stuff and downgrades into a different material that is then the fuel of the reactor. And the process of the reactor causes the other stuff to downgrade, and because of physics, you end up with more of the actual fuel than the original that you put into it. You end up with a surplus. And it was like really interesting that as the reactor runs, it creates more. It was interesting. Well, this one, I don't think it was, you know, the Soviet one. I don't really know where it is, but this one was not in operation. And it could have been in Soviet. I don't know. I don't know where it was, but they were like the multiple layers of redundancy that was built into it. I don't really know. This one has like a cord that you pull on that will shut it down. If it overheats, it shuts down. Like, it was really cool. The amount of like overrun. I wonder if I can find the video real quick, and then I can tell you which one it was. But it was, they had to like shorten the cord because tours, the kids wanted to pull on the cord, and it's fine, but they're like, dude, this is a historical site too. So they had to like shorten it. It was there so that anybody could pull the cord and shut down the reactor. It might have been, I don't know. I watch a lot of videos though, so it's like, even searching through something that I watched just a day or so ago is like, I have to scroll through a lot of things. I've just made it to yesterday. That's one about the mold used for cheese might be dying out. It's a mold we've used for cheese for a really, really long time, and it's it could face extinction just because it's been used for like 1,000 years or so. And it's one of those, like, it's the same thing that like happened with bananas. When you keep using the same thing, everything else keeps evolving. So this one hasn't been evolving because we've been using the same one. It's like poked into cheese, like they put it in needles and then it makes like blue cheese and all that kind of stuff. So I didn't pay a huge amount of attention to the video on it though. So that was a 100-year-old self-playing violin and piano, which is really, really, really cool. I watch too many videos. That's what I do. I sit here and play video games, and I half play the video game, half watch videos. I'm thinking about replacing my router with a computer. Watching a 12-hour video and reading a 1,000-page document. That's an interesting whole thing with PF blocker, putting a open VPN on it, VPNing the cell phones into the house when they're out and about, so that they can take advantage of the ad blocking, even when they're not at home. Bunch of cool features. I just got to get a 2-port NIC card for the computer if I want to do it. Taking a 10-year-old computer, the pre-gaming computer before this one, before the computer before I started streaming. So 3 computers back, and using it as a router and network storage and a bunch of other things running Linux. How easily. See, right now I have Pi-hole, but And the question is, how much do I learn for my work doing that? Doing it on a PC, though, I can get some extra, like, randomized experience. Okay, it was smarter every day. Here's the video. I explored the world's first nuclear power plant. Now, does it say where this power plant was? EBR1. EBR1. The experimental breeder reactor. That's what it is. That's at the Idaho National Laboratory. This is what he's calling the world's first nuclear power plant. So it's not the Russian one. And you can go and see it. It's in Idaho. So have you ever seen a nuclear reactor? Ever wonder how electricity is generated from a nuclear energy? Satisfy your curiosity by visiting EBR1 Atomic Museum, located on U.S. Highway 2060 between Idaho Falls and Arco. Facility, a National Historic Landmark where usable electricity was first generated from nuclear energy in 1951. It's the only place in America you can see 4 nuclear reactors, including 2 aircraft nuclear propulsion prototypes. It's the EBR-1. And it's a breeder reactor. So the breeder reactor is how it produces more fuel than it uses, which to me is like, huh? And he talks about it in the video, how you feed it one thing and it makes the actual fuel out of that because of you feed it like fuel and another thing, and it turns the other thing into fuel. And then you keep feeding it the other thing, and it keeps making more fuel than it uses. But it doesn't use like water. It uses liquid metal as its coolant. It's kind of wild. Yeah, it was never, all it ever did was power that building. So it turned on a light bulb the first day, and then the very next day it powered the building. And that's all it ever did. It was the first reactor, according to this. On December 20th, 1951, it became the first power plant to produce electrical energy using atomic energy. Again, never hooked up to a power grid. Built in Idaho. It could create or breed more fuel than it consumes, which is kind of wild. I don't remember which atom the reaction process irradiates and then helps to break down into the fuel for the reaction process. But that's really cool. It operated for 12 years. I'm like, that's nifty. And then if you watch the video, you can see them like explore it and all, and then like the actual reactor, he's like, that's the reactor. He's like, that is? It's so small. Yeah. Well, like, you feed it the one that breaks down into what it actually uses, and it breaks down the other one into what it actually uses, and it makes more of what it actually uses than what you fed it. It's something like when it breaks it down, it creates like 2 or something because of breaking. I don't know. They explain the science of it. Don't fucking ask me. I'm not a, rocket doctor or a, nuclear space marine. I don't get these things. It's cool though. Yeah. Like they were saying that it's like an isotope 12 and 13. 12 won't break down into like uranium or whatever, but 13 will break down into uranium. So they feed it like isotope 13 of deuterium, or it's not deuterium. I know that's like hydrogen or whatever, but I don't remember what the thing is. And it breaks down into like the uranium, and the actual fuel. It might not be uranium. I'm sorry. You'd have to like do the stuff and look. But whatever the fuel it uses breaks down at a slower rate than like what it makes, and it makes more fuel that they can like filter out than what the speed of the fuel that it uses of its breakdown. So you can actually make more fuel than you use to produce power. Ha ha. So it's like, that's wild. And you are making the actual fuel that you use in the reactor to make the power. It's cool. Yeah. So a little bit, and that was a day or so ago. February 1st is when that was posted. No, I was watching that video. I'm gonna go back to watching the guy get tipsy making drinks and stuff. Before, how have you been past week or so?
Aphrodite's strawberry?
Oh, don't unpause. I just maximized you for. You're forgetting to play a glyph, and need to go fight the Ropalali. Octavia. That's good against the Ropalali. Okay, I'm gonna unpause the video.
If that's Aphrodite's whatever, as surely as hell is gonna help me make it happen. And that's what I want to do to help you get it on. So today I want to present 4 original cocktails that I came up with that draw on historically recognized aphrodisiacs. Dare I say ancient aphrodisiacs. Dare I say bullshit. So none of these are real.
Dare I say bullshit.
They all are full of alcohol, which is probably the most effective aphrodisiac going. Just saying. Now I want to do these 4 aphrodisiac cocktails for you in basically no particular order at all, except to say that my favorite of the bunch is going to be last in the episode. It's a little bit more involved. I'm going to do it once. I'm very excited about that. It's like my favorite drink. I've invented it for quite a while. Stick around if you want to see it. But first I want to start with this thing. I came up with Cupid's Arrow. On the supposed
of course somebody would get in front of me.
And is kind of a variation on a last word. In fact, I had a last word in mind when I started working on this. We're going to need a ½ ounce of lime juice. Also, I've changed up the lighting. I was going for something a little bit moodier. What do you think? You like it? You hate it? Let me know. Let's get ½ ounce of lime juice according to my notes. We're going to need 1 ounce of a London Dry gin. I happen to be using Bowling Green Birch. because it is what I have handy. 99% of the time, I'm going to say use Tanqueray for your one-man job. Yeah, it's just sort of, it's standard, it's fine, it's great. We're going to do 3/4 of an ounce of Marine. This is a bitter, mildly bitter, not terribly sweet Terry-Pina, actually. It should traditionally have some quinine in it if you're in the UK, or quinine if you're in the US.
I already watched this part.
Stuff that makes tonic, but I have a funny feeling it no longer has that, actually. But anything that's called a quina or a quina, it means that I think a lime wheel would look very pretty on that color. And I think just a chunk of strawberry would be great too. I'm gonna go cherry. One thing to know about Cupid in mythology is arrows kill you. And so I'm gonna use this pick that has a skull.
I didn't know his arrows kill you.
Cupid's arrow, a kind of a loose riff on a last word. And I think a wonderful. Let's see how she came out. So nice. It is not at all syrupy. A lot of times you start getting into something that's got like a strawberry or fruit vibe in a cocktail, and it can become way too sweet. It can become like thick and syrupy, treacly, if you will, cloying, sticky. This isn't that. This is light and airy and fresh, and it tastes of fresh strawberries pretty strongly without being overpowering. You still get all of these other notes in there. The gin brings in this kinds of woodsy juniper vibe that is really in tension and I think very nicely setting each other off, the strawberry and the gin here. The maraschino and the marine are bringing a little bit of the sweetness in here. We need some. This can't have no sweetness, as we discussed. So you need to have some sugar to balance it. Just the right amount. And they're just throwing in some subtle notes of herbaceousness, vegetableness, but like spiciness, yeah. Let's call it spicy. Close to the spice, but not like hot pepper spice, but like in the direction of a bacon spice, an Angostura spice. I really like it, and I think it would be better with Angostura bitters. I think that it's a little bit, it's a whiskey cocktail. I like that. It's very whiskey, very approachable, particularly if somebody both doesn't like strong cocktails and doesn't like overly sweet cocktails. This is going to be right down the middle there, perfect. But I think it could have just a little bit more hoots, a little bit more oomph, and a couple dashes of Ango are always going to solve that problem for you. Love any excuse to be fair. I'm having a great time. Let's move this along. One thing that's funny is I mentioned the Spinzall just before, and that will come up later in the episode when I do this, my favorite drink of the episode. I actually already shot this up, and it was very experimental. And a lot of these cocktails, some of these cocktails were invented during that episode. I was kind of flying off the cuff. But I wound up using the Spinzall a lot, which is very inaccessible to most of the audience. It's a really cool device. But I decided, you know what, this episode is a little bit too nerdy, a little bit too experimental for the big, wide world of YouTube. Let's make it a patron exclusive. So if you want to see all of the guts of this episode and a few other cocktails, I have quite a few cocktails that aren't going to show up in it, swing by my Patreon and check that out. You'll get access to that episode, other exclusive content. You're going to get access to the HTD app, which I developed and which is the best way to use my show as your own personal cocktail guide. And you will make this show possible because the show can't exist without patrons. It is vital to the survival of the show and me being able to do this because this is a full-time job. For those of you who are supporting the show, thank you all so much for doing so. I hope I'm living up to your expectations and this is all of you. Everything you want it to be. Let's make a drink I call the Between the Knees. Let me try that again. I'm going to make a drink now that I call the Between the... Wait, sorry, let me get this just right now. It's just right, because it's a special way to say this. A drink I call the Knees. I was thinking about some kind of a mashup between a bee's knees and a between the sheets, and it turned into a between the knees, which is a scintillating sort of a name. And also it relies on honey, which is a traditional and ancient...
Yay, that's done.
And of course that means sexuality, and it's an aphrodisiac. It also has some cognac in there, which is just a really sexy spirit. Cognac is ooh, it's sexy. We're going to need an ounce of lemon juice. Knifey, knifey. Ooh. Go 1 ounce of lemon juice. Need 1 ounce of a honey syrup. The reason you make a honey syrup is because honey doesn't pour very well. If you wanted to use honey and just wait to get it into your drink, that's fine. You'd have to use a different measurement, and you can do that math yourself. My honey syrup is 3 parts honey to 1 part water just to help it get pouring. And we're gonna use about an ounce of it. There we go, 1 ounce of honey syrup. I need a 1/4 ounce of a Jamaican rum. I'm gonna use Appleton Estate, although if I had one handy, I might reach for something a little bit funkier. Did I say a 1/4 ounce? I meant a 1/2 ounce. 1/2 ounce of Jamaica, and a 1.5 ounces of cognac. When you mix cocktails with cognac, I mean, obviously don't go crazy on your cognac. Pierre Ferrand makes, I think, probably some of the best price points and cognacs for mixing. Pine isn't terrible. I used to be able to get Pierre Ferrand 1840. I don't see that around anymore. So I don't know, maybe Curiata has it over at drink.curiata.com. I'm impatient and I buy mostly what I get at the liquor store. But I haven't tried the Ombre before, and I bought that because that's what they had. It is, this is 80 proof instead of 100 proof, and the 1840 was meant to be stronger and other things for use in pre-prohibition cocktails, because that's how they work.
Keep forgetting Musicglyph.
I have no complaints about this at all, and I
Oops.
think this will make you an excellent cocktail. 1.5 ounces here of Pierre Ferrand Ombre, or the cognac of your choice, and an egg white.
Later.
Precious eggs. So rare these days to find an egg. Whenever you use an egg white in a cocktail, you should dry shake it, and that just means shake without ice. I used to get questions in the comments, Greg, what do you think about a reverse dry shake, or this or that? Dry shake it. You reverse dry shake when you forget to dry shake. There's no, one's not better than the other, but certainly I don't think reverse dry shaking is better than dry shaking. Reverse dry shaking means you wet shake it, and then you pour it back into a shaker dry and shake it again. Sure, if I forgot to dry shake a cocktail, that's what I would do. Let's get some ice. 1. You don't need to use ice like I do. I just have my habits, and one of them is that I use a big chunk of perfectly clear, beautiful ice, and the other one
With abilities. Alright, Equinox it is.
Dave Arnold did a thing, and he said that's probably the best way to do your ice. On it, and it surprised. Anyway.
Saren.
Look at that. Isn't that pretty? Wait till it forms a head. It's going to be delicious. Drinks that you shake with an egg white, they will form a head, and it's always good to give them a second.
Resource dog.
Now, I don't think it's necessary to do this. I just think when I see a big, beautiful white, well, I'm going to leave it alone. A lot of times I would want to put dots of Ango on there and do some design or something like that, but it's not necessary, but it is nice. You get that scent of Angostura. I think that if I had some candied ginger, of course, that'd be great. Otherwise, I don't know. I don't think
I think it's this one.
garnish. Here's to all of you and to getting between some knees.
Yeah.
Essence, aroma, honeyed vibes, long honeyed finish. Just a right balance between the honey and the lemon and the stuff like that. You get this, almost takes on a vibe like an Earl Grey tea in there, or maybe just the preparation of an Earl Grey tea because of the lemon and the honey. The egg white gives it this silky texture that froths all throughout it. The cognac is subtle. It's just like, it's like a lover. It's like a seasoned lover, the cognac. It says to you, whisper to me in my ear all of your wants and desires, and your wanton desires, and I will sate them. That is what cognac whispers to me. It's refined, it's sophisticated, it's airy, it's light and fluffy, very approachable. It doesn't feel heavy. There's another drink in this episode, probably the next one, is a little desserty. And it does feel like an aphrodisiac cocktail, but I always think like, do I want to drink or eat something very heavy when I got to think about my ability to stay, my endurance, if I may. But, so this, I don't feel like it's heavy, right? Like, you can put some motion in your ocean and feel fine. Put that on there. I don't know that Jamaican rum. I think a funkier Jamaican rum would have been a good one there. So I did a half an ounce of Appleton Estate. I think that half an ounce of lemon sauce would have been better. I think a quarter ounce of Ray and Nephew was my first instinct, honestly, on this one. But I'm trying to make it a little bit more accessible. But I think that's what it is. If I had eyes on the Ray and Nephew, very definitely, I would actually. Just to sate my curiosity, how is it if I just toss in, a bar spoon of this high proof, overproof, famously style rum? Yeah, a little extra. It puts a little more edge on it, gives it a little bit more body. It gives it some pop. That helps it out, I think, a lot. So I would go with the funkiest rum you got. If it happens to be Ray and Nephew, cut it to a quarter instead of a half. I'm gonna make a brandy chocolato. It's a cocktail I made up. So this is my chocolate brandy, and I made this by taking 60% cacao chocolate bars from Ghirardelli and that Warframe ombre, and I threw them in a blender, and I blended the hell out of them, and then I filtered it. I thought that the Spinzall would be good for that. It wasn't. The Spinzall was a mistake. I don't know why the Spinzall doesn't work on that combo. It doesn't. Filtering works. All you need to do is filter it. If I was going to do this all over again, and I'm tired, I don't want to, but if I was, I would probably use French press as a first pass. I would use a French press, and then take that liquid and put that through a filter. I mean, if you're crazy and you have different filter media like me, you want to work your way up. And ultimately, what I did was do this in a vacuum filter, which is fast, but not necessary. I didn't use like the highest filter. Basically, I sucked it through a coffee. A coffee filter will do it for you, and you get what I think is the most amazing coffee filter you've ever had in your life. It doesn't have any added sweetness that I maybe there's some coffee bar, but it's nothing like a creme de cacao. That said, I think you could probably get away with a creme de cacao in this drink. You might just have to rebalance things, like instead of using an ounce and a half of cognac, like I have here, use a half an ounce of creme de cacao and an ounce of cognac, something like that. But if you are adventurous, make this. It is so good. All right, let's make this brandy chocolato. I need an ounce and a half of my chocolate cognac, and then I need a quarter ounce of chartreuse. And I happen to be using a pretty large glass, so I'm actually going to double all of this now. But for a single, that's a quarter ounce of chartreuse and a quarter ounce of maraschino. And yes, I am drawing on the natural inclination of maraschino and chartreuse to get together and have a very nice time. They are long lovers. They see each other and hold each other. Chartreuse and maraschino. They are secret. They stalk them. They can get enough of each other. I'm actually going to throw another ounce and a half of chocolate cognac into mine because I'm using a double. Because I want it to look right in this glass. It's a very large glass. Stir. More split ice than crack. So we give this guy the good old, take her out, dance her around, and let whatever happens happen. Strain it into your glass. I happen to be using this V-shaped martini glass. Uncommon on the show. You almost never see me use one of these. But it's what was clean. And it's a good thing I doubled my recipe because you can see this glass is enormous. So now I'm going to whip shake some heavy cream and float it right across the top of my drink. Just throw enough into your shaker. Could a smarter man than me actually know what they needed and measure it? Yeah. Am I that guy? Give it a couple of whippy. Just want to put some air bubbles in there and lighten it up. Don't go crazy. And now, using the back of my bar spoon, I'll be really bummed if it fails. That to me looks beautiful. Chocolate-covered strawberries are a thing, though. And why not garnish it with a strawberry?
Distracted, I'm taking the opportunity to make some
there you go. Just perch it right on the end there. voila, a brandy chocolato. Yes, I had the idea of a brandy Alexander in mind. I said, what if the cream was separated? What if it was a little bit more complicated? What if you were using this chocolate brandy, yada yada? But it's not the same drink at all. Here we are, one brandy chocolato, my lover. That's got to be one of the best chocolate cocktails I've ever had. It is so deeply deep. It is exactly, to my mouth, the right balance of bitter chocolate and sweet and milky cream. It is silky, chocolatey, it's enveloping. It's silk sheets on a water bed that's filled up for you and me. It is, why don't we get drunk and screw? Oh God, that's good. It is desserty, just by virtue of having cream and chocolate in it. The thing is too, chocolate, chartreuse, right? Why? Okay, so there's this thing called Pousse Café, which is a layered shot. I use that term loosely, but it's in that kind of glass. It's layers of liqueur that be served alongside a coffee, and coffee and an accompanying layer of liqueur. And you would get this evolving sort of flavor experience to go through. Well, I've never had one. I made one on the show a long time ago. When I did, I found out chartreuse is magic with coffee. And just about anything that works with coffee will work with coffee. So that's why chartreuse, coffee, in my opinion, work so well together. And they work so well together. Oh my God. The sweet, slightly spicy, mostly herbaceous explosion of flavors that is chartreuse goes so nicely when it's balanced. When
I don't know what chartreuse tastes like.
With the chocolate. And forget chartreuse. Let's talk about maraschino, because really what we're doing here is just that new thing, that chartreuse and maraschino combo that we are putting in the chocolate. What's really happening here, okay, and this is the thing you need to understand, is that the cognac is being tripled by chocolate, chartreuse, and maraschino. And they are all generous. And there's cream all over the place. That is wonderful. I love it. That is a great, great, wonderful drink. I made it, and I'm very proud of it, and I'm going to pat myself on the back because it's good, and you should have one.
You enjoy that, Greg.
Chocolate brandy. But also, hey, I got to let you know that this glass and all the other glasses in this episode are courtesy of Whiskey. Whiskey is the official glassware provider of How to Drink. They like the show. I like the glasses. We got in bed together and had ourselves a very nice time. You go to Whiskey.com, you use code How to Drink at checkout. You're going to get 15% off.
Oh, deploy a glyph.
They make beautiful glassware. They make great barware. Check them out. Friend of the show. Thank you, Whiskey. Moving on.
Yeah, I didn't forget that time.
This brings me to my favorite drink in this episode. It is a Fig El Presidente. And to make it, I will need the Spinzall. Let's get it in. This Spinzall is on loan to me from Booker and Dax, Tomato's Pantry, and Dave Arnold. They're all three are involved in that. And Quinn, who's a member of my Patreon and friend of the show, made this all possible. Thank you, Quinn. Actually, that's your Discord name in our private Discord for the Patreon. I don't know if that's your real name, but let's assume it is.
Well, he died somewhere.
I need a blender and figs and rum. Now, the rum that I like for this is El Dorado 3-year.
I would imagine people would prefer to be called out online by their Discord name.
And where am I at here?
That way people wouldn't know that, you know, their name is, you know, the real thing in case of the weirdos.
And I don't need to measure it that.
I don't need to stay in this mission anymore. I've fulfilled my 2 goals.
And that's actually probably a little bit more than 400.
Let's go.
I like figged rum. It helps me and Meredith settle a little debate here, by the way. Because figs are an aphrodisiac and an ancient symbol of fertility. Now, I'd always heard it's because...
You cut them up and they look like kind of like a vagina. No.
Meredith has always heard that it's because if you cut them open, they look like a pussy.
Yeah.
I don't think... I mean... I've seen a few. I think that they're more like... Let us know in the comments. What is it? Is it balls? Is it pussy? Is it both? You tell us. Regardless, to make big rum, you need to put a bunch of them in your rum. Just kind of go crazy. Too much is enough. I'm not messing around here. Okay.
I guess they work for both, Greg.
Blend the living shit out. Oh, I always forget.
Before you cut them open and after you cut them open.
Pectin X Alter FPL. This is an enzyme that helps break down pectin and helps the spins all do its job. I am going to use more than I use milk. I think I only need a milliliter for every, or 2 milliliters for every liter.
I just, they'd scare me because they're a flower turned inside out.
So, we'll put some
That
XSPL in there
to
and go
propagate,
crazy.
a wasp has to crawl up inside of and die. They're just creepy.
We've just made the most intense fig infusion you can possibly imagine into that rum. However, we want to get all of the gunk out now. How do we do that? We want this to be perfectly clear, like we never messed with it. Well, that is what the Spinzall is for. The Spinzall is a bartender's centrifuge. That is what it is. It spins at, I want to say 2,000 or 6,000 RPM. It's like 200 or 400. It's a lot of G's. And Dave Arnold made it because he thought that centrifuges from laboratories were just too damn expensive for the bars that he was working at to own, and they're too fiddly, and they're too difficult to make work, and they don't do big yields. This will do just shy of 500 milliliters of stuff, and it's really, 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 really good at clarifying fruit juices, lemons and limes and stuff like that. Since having this guy in my house, it has been a real difficult thing for me to not just go around clarifying all the juices. We're gonna put our rotating drum assembly in here. You can run.
We're gonna clarify all the juices.
So I can feed blender into this by hose, but we'll get better, more clear results doing it this way. I am going to run this now, and it will spin. I'm gonna give it something like 5 or 10 minutes, and then we will see what we have. Here she goes. You can see it kind of auto balances a little bit, and it starts spinning. Anyway, I'll see you guys in 5 minutes when we have some delicious, clear fig rum. Okay, I let that run for 10 minutes. I have a bottle here. I'm gonna pour this into, and I am going to use a funnel and a filter. Why? Well, right now, inside of this drum, outside on the outer edge, that is where all of
the gunk,
non-clear pulp and pieces of fig have collected into a kind of a gel. It's possible and maybe even likely that in the process of me pouring this,
you'll break some of it.
Flake off. And in case that happens, I would like to have something catch my stuff. But you can even see that's clear.
It's coming out pretty clear.
There's a possibility that the filter is helpful, but frankly, I doubt I'm gonna need it. Look at how perfectly clear and just beautiful that is. I probably could have gotten away with just like a tea strainer, but whatever. So just to show you as well, if I take out this part, which is the feeder, there's some of the fig pulp there, but there it all is. Let me see if I can line that up right there. You can see on the inside here, and look at this. It's green, right? So when we take the green out of the fig, what's left is this bright red, pink, beautiful spirit. And so there we have our fig rum. And if you want to pick up a Spinzall, there's a link down here and over here in the corner. It's on loan.
It's pretty cool.
Just friend of the show, Dave Arnold, awesome, amazing bartender who has changed the game. You should buy his book, Liquid Intelligence. It has been an instrumental part of what I do here on the show. I will not lie, this is a bit of a reach for the budget of a hobbyist. It is way cheaper than any other centrifuge you want to buy, but it is kind of the purview of industry folks who are running bars. That's not to say a hobbyist couldn't own one. Check out the link down here or up here in the corner. See if it fits your needs or your budget. And if it does, awesome. Tell them Greg sent you.
No, it doesn't, but it is cool.
So the El Presidente is one of my favorite rum-based drinks. It maybe is, I mean, it's definitely the best stirred rum drink I've ever had. And
I'm not fighting a Hydralisk.
I don't have them enough, to be perfectly honest. Let's make it El Presidente.
That's
it was
a
one of my
no.
first instincts when I had this delicious fig rum, which is built on
Capture.
the Eldorado 3-year. The first time I made an El Presidente, first time I had an El Presidente,
Exterminate.
I happened to have a bottle of Cuban Ron Santiago 11-year, which is an incredibly smooth and refined rum and made for an excellent El Presidente. I think a Demerara is the way to go here. And I think that a fig-infused Demerara is even more the way to go. So I'm going to make myself a double because I want to fill this glass proper. So the measurements may not match what's on screen. It is 1.5 ounces of our fig-infused rum, 1/2 ounce of dry curacao.
Found a target. Capture them quickly before they escape.
And now, I want 3/4 ounce of Lillet Blanc. Now, here is the thing. If you look up recipes for an El Presidente elsewhere being not the HDD app, available at hddapp.com, but at elsewhere, you're going to find most of those listings call for a dry vermouth, okay? That's a mistake. I don't know if that's a misprint that got worked into the annals of history somewhere along the line or not. I don't care. Dry vermouth is the wrong vermouth to use here. You want a Blanc vermouth, which is a clear or white vermouth that is not super duper dry. It's a little bit on the sweeter side. Lillet Blanc is a perfectly acceptable way to get there, I think. Dolan Blanc is also very nice. The first time I made it with Lillet. Is Lillet a vermouth?
You are surrounded by Grenier Marines.
It's a French aperitif wine. It's not super far from a vermouth, but it makes for a hell of an El Presidente. Use 3/4 ounce of that, but don't use a dry vermouth. You won't like it. It's not good. The drink, if without a touch of sweetness in this, it's not good. It's not good. You need that. You don't need more, you don't need simple, but you need a little of that. The drink typically also,
There's a heavy unit approaching.
traditionally this drink also calls for grenadine. And I'm tempted to throw it in here because pomegranate is another classic symbol of fertility, a classic aphrodisiac. However, I don't believe that this bar spoon of grenadine that's in this drink typically adds much flavor. It's there mostly for color.
I have some of those. Or I had some of those. I drank them all.
We don't need grenadine for color. By all means, add it if you like. I'm choosing not to. Get yourself some ice. Put it in your glass. Stir that drink up. One of the really cool things about making an infusion like this with a Spinzall is the enormous yield. Because of the way we are separating the infusing elements from our spirit, we get basically every drop of spirit we used back. There's very little loss, which is huge. And the same is true for like clarifying lime or lemon juice or anything like that. It's awesome at not wasting any of your stuff that you're trying to get. Okay, there we go. Get your glass and strain away. Look at the color of that drink. It is the color, and it even looks like an aphrodisiac of a cocktail. And since it's a cocktail, it is an aphrodisiac. Pull a twist of orange peel and give that a spritz over the top of your glass there. Even if your camera's not in the most perfect position to capture the moment, maybe put a little slice into that and set it on the edge of your glass. I don't know. I've never been very good at garnishes. That's a garnish. Here it is, a Fig El Presidente. It probably needs a better name. Oh my word. Oh my word. Yeah. It's so good. It is so smooth and so rounded and so, just an inviting, warm, mellow.
Y'all had to nerf my Panzer.
From the curacao, and the Lillet is just softening everything with its enveloping mild sweetness, mild herbaceousness, but all throughout this drink, you have the most intense fig flavor. And here's the thing. When you bite into a fig...
That's a mean game.
It's a little earthy. It's not... It has an unusual flavor. I don't know. I don't love it. I don't love the experience of it. But I like things that are made with fig. This is a thing made with fig. It does have a bit of that earthiness, but it has such a sweetness. It has such a flavor, and it is so fresh because of the way we made it with the Spinzall. It is just juicy. It is a juicy, sopping wet cocktail. It is so warm, deep, and inviting. It wants you in it. Scratch that, reverse it. Yeah, man. Ooh, what a tasty drink. How can I describe the flavor of a fig without saying it's figgy? To be blunt, there are notes of there are metallic notes in it. Subtle, distant. There are earthy notes in it. Subtle, minute. There are orange, woodsy, forestal kinds of notes in it. There is a sweetness to it. There is it's succulent. I don't know how else. It's very hard to describe blue to a person who's never seen. It's very hard to describe fig in objective ways without simply saying it tastes like a damn fig. It tastes like a goddamn fig in the best possible way. It is so good. I hope that at fancy bars with Spinzalls, they're making fig presidentes. And I think that I did come up with a name for it. It was like an El Presejigo or something, or El Higorente. El Higorente, which is like a, well, higo is fig, apparently, in Spanish. I hope that you are having the most romantic time of your life right now. I hope that the sparks are flying, the juice is flowing, and the heat is hot. I hope that there is motion in your ocean and friction in your sheets. I hope that all of your ups and downs are in the bedroom. I want it all to happen for you. I want you to get laid. That is why I made this show. I want you to have fun with your body. I want you to have fun with several bodies.
No.
I want the world to be your oyster, and I want you to get down in there and eat that oyster. It's delicious.
You've drunk too much.
I had another thing I was going to do in there. What was it? I fear the anti-fun brigade. No, I do. I fear the anti-fun brigade. There is a current of anti-funness in the young people of America, and the young men in particular of America, that fills me with dread. Historically, when the youth adopt an anti-fun movement, danger follows. We're okay. We're okay with Carrie Nation, older anti-fun people. But when the youth become anti-fun, watch out! Watch out, you're on a precipice. Young people, it doesn't get any better than this. It doesn't. Enjoy the sunset. Put your feet up. Have a cocktail. Relax. Find somebody to love and love them. With that, I leave you with this thought. I put a spell on you because you're mine. You know, I can't stand it. You're running around. I can't stand it because you put me down. I put a spell on you because
Greg, you're drunk. Go home. Where did he go? Murder. Oh, you want to do this?
trying to retreat into the void so it can heal. Follow it and stop
I was hitting the wrong button. Oh, is it dead already? The boys.
As you conquer the foe, so you conquer yourself.
I can respect it.
How big's my knob? Your mum been talking. It was a disaster, mate. It was like throwing a sausage up an alleyway. I couldn't get any purchase. It's a fair old size, but my God, she's got a bucket fan of your mum. Oh.
What's your favourite tractor, Jimmy?
What's my favourite tractor? Well done, Taunton. If you're interested, this is why you can't have nice things. Some of you might be sat there going, why am I in a sports hall, not in a nice theatre? This... What's your favourite tractor? He's got a brand new combine harvester. Yeah. Any other? John Deere, I think, probably a classic John Deere from the 50s, I would go with. A nice diesel engine. Of course, Lamborghini are making them now, but they're too complex. You want something simple that you can maintain yourself. What factory do you work in? Go on, what do you do? NHS. You're NHS. Well, lovely. Doctor, surgeon, maybe, nurse. What? Sorry. Therapist. You're a therapist. Therapist. Is it a speech therapist? How do you get into speech therapy? I think that's a fucking great idea, isn't it? If you had an NHS speech therapist and you went, hello, I'm not saying thank you for getting an appointment, but very nice to see you. And the kid with the stutter goes, do you know what? I'll be all right. It's a good idea. What kind of a therapist are you?
Physio and occupational.
Physio and occupational. Is that two different things? Fucking, you've taken someone's job. Physio, what you? Okay. Yeah, I've got physio. He does it full time. He's really good. How's the part-time thing going?
We got a physical therapist.
You on your own? I'm joking. Look at you, please. Okay.
Hey, Shadow.
He's here on his own. Girls don't get me. Yeah, it could be that. Could be personal hygiene.
Oh.
Are you gone with the sort of the beard and the hair the same length as the beard? You look like something that's fallen on a barber's floor. So sorry, they've not been listening to anything since you said favourite tractor. It's a bloody good show this, I didn't think tractors would get mentioned. It's very relatable.
How you doing tonight, Shadow?
I didn't hear all the conversation, but I imagine they went, red one. Red one. Are there any lesbians in? Of course not. Comedy show. Is there one? Well, I should explain what we're doing. Hello, the lesbian. What's your name? What's your name? Stevie. Yeah, that checks out.
Sure, of course.
Stevie. Are you here with the partner, Stevie?
I'll turn off the comedian.
Your fiance?
Oh, that looked like it was gonna get good. I can imagine. Do you understand how this works, dear? Bit too high. There we go. Oop. Wait, am I in a chat right now? Uh-oh. Sometimes I forget to join a chat room. I just figured it out. Welcome. How are you doing this evening?
Yeah, fine. You?
Pretty good. Been laughing my ass off.
Oh, I've been hearing that.
Yeah. I enjoy Jimmy Carr. He's funny.
Yeah. I can agree with you on that. He's pretty funny.
Yeah. Like, I don't know what he's gonna... I love that he has this section of his shows where he just is like, does anybody have any heckles? Anybody have any questions? You know? And he just invites the audience to, like, you know, mess with him so that he can, like, retort them and do on-the-fly comebacks. I don't think quick enough for that shit, right? To be able to, like, deal with other humans and like have witty comebacks to them and all, but he does, and more power to him because it's funny as shit. Like one earlier, somebody was pretty good. Somebody asked, he's like, "Does anybody have any questions?" And he's like, "How long have you been a comedian?" He's like, "Wait, are you from NHS or like, are you from the tax?" Because he's known for evading taxes, right? So he's like, because the answer kind of depends, you know, depending on how many years I'm going to have to pay taxes for. He's like, no, seriously, I've been a comedian for 25 years now. He's like, oh, I was wondering if this was your first show. It's like, oh, that's a good one, mate. Oh my god, that was pretty good. The guy had that one planned.
Clavo's ability is pretty bad when you don't have anything to kill a level.
Whose ability?
Clavo's, the melee frame.
I mean, the one that you get from him isn't that bad. Like, it's a movement ability.
I'm not talking about the critical chance. I'm talking about the one that, if you don't get enough enemies around you, you get.
Oh yeah, yeah. You take self damage because you send out the daggers. Yeah, you definitely want to use that when you're surrounded. Yeah.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you will end up stabbing yourself. I play Calervo with like this in mind. If all of the enemies are dead, I don't have to worry about taking damage. So I mainly use him for the you chain them and then you teleport into one, right? And then that's going to kill all the rest of them. Everybody that's chained to the one that you teleported into is dead. And that's kind of how he works. You toss out your chains, you teleport into one, everybody dies. And you can use your teleport because it's cheap to get around the map super quick. So he's very fast. So yeah, not too bad with that. So like, where's my Colvero? Colvero. And honestly, I'm going to call, and I got rid of his 4. I don't even remember what his 4 is. What is his 4?
I think it's trying the knives go down on the ground. I'm not really sure.
Storm of Uko. Yeah. I don't really use that one. Yeah, that's the one I get rid of. And on his main build that I run, let's see, are you online right now?
Yeah, I am.
I'll send you the main build.
Of
Communication. It's okay. Don't worry about it. I'll just send you a. There you go. Talk. Okay. Now I can't say that this is the best build ever, but it's what I run. So. Okay, lots of health. And then... So it has Arcane Blessing, which gives me 1,000 additional health. It starts out with 2,400 health. So I have a lot of health. It has Adaptation. And it has 800 armor. So with the 800 armor that it has by default, I have 75% damage reduction. Okay. Then on top of that, Adaptation gives me another 90%, which takes me down to like 2.8 6% of damage that I would take. And when you have like 3,000 hit points, you're pretty much going to survive everything. And you have Overguard that you could put on top of that. So that's virtual hit points and a shield gate that you can do. So as long as you do use your 2 occasionally, you know, or wait a second. Yeah, the 2. And my Overguard is like 20,000 Overguard, which I can add on top of everything. So, you know, you jump near a group of guys, you hit the 2, then you chain them, and then you kill them, right? So, yeah. And I inverted his ability use. So I don't know if you know you can do this. You're aware that you can do this, right?
What?
So per frame, you can invert their ability use. You know what I mean?
No.
Okay.
No.
So Colvero has on his number 1 ability, if you tap it, you'll.
Oh, you mean like hold the button on everything in it?
Yeah, he has a tap ability and he has a hold ability, and you can invert what those do. I have it to tap to attack people and to hold to teleport to a location. Okay, where by default it's the opposite of that. Yeah, you can invert his abilities. So I have it to where, like, by default you have to hold to teleport to a location, and you tap. I forget what it is, or by you hold to. Fuck, I don't know. It's hold on, I can read it. Colvero surrounds. Yeah, I can. Wait one second. I can look at the ability. Tap. Colvero charges a heavy attack, then teleports to his target and strikes. His rage-filled focus temporarily increases his melee chance. Hold, teleport to the marked location. So, like, I have that. So I think that's backwards, where you hold to do the heavy attack and you tap to teleport, or something like that. I don't know, but I have those inverted. Either way. So it means that, here's the thing, if you don't have a target and you tap, you will still teleport to that location. So I have it set to where if there is a target, I will kill them. If there is not a target where I'm looking, I will just teleport. So I can just tap all the time and use both abilities. I don't need to do the holding it at all to do anything, because that's redundant.
Let's see. It being controls, right?
What?
To invoke your abilities, it would be in your controls, correct? In the settings?
Yeah. Let me go do it real quick. Options. Controller. I think it's invert. Oh wait, sorry. So it's, you can find it in the keyboard and mouse tab. If you type invert into the search, you'll see invert, tap, and hold abilities. And if you click that, it'll show you per frame who you want to invert. I have Colvero inverted.
That's pretty cool. Alright.
I also have Protea inverted. Protea for me, if I tap, I throw out shield orbs. And if I hold, I throw out slash orbs. For me, it's more important to, in an oh shit situation, for me to get the shield orbs out. Like if my shields go down, I want shield orbs. I don't want to have to hold and wait for the shield orbs to come out. I want them now, because that will save my ass. If I throw down shield orbs, I have shield gating for next like 3 seconds. For the next 3 seconds, Protea is invincible when she puts on her shield orbs, because they will constantly cause your shield to regen. So Protea is basically invincible as long as you're using your shield orbs. Because if you have a arcane Aegis, when it goes off, you're invincible for 12 seconds. During that, like near the end of that, throw down a shield orb. Chances are Aegis will go off again. You just keep repeating that cycle, and you're always invincible.
Yeah, it's just a little bit different from my build anyway. I got the same range and everything. I just don't got blind range or whatever it's called on my build anyway.
I don't mind. Since I have Prime Flow, I have enough energy. So I don't mind having negative efficiency because I want my abilities to last long. So I would rather have Blind Rage instead of having Transient Fortitude, because Blind Rage gives me more strength, which gives me more crit multiplier, gives me more damage, gives me more, damage from the Nourish. So all in all, it's a bigger boost.
Yeah, I got the same stats, but the efficiency, or whatever it's called, is at 145%. Along with my duration at 150 and range at 175. Strength is 108.
Yeah, that's why Blind Rage is important.
Yeah, I don't really use blind range on this Warframe that very much. I use what is it?
Getting that multiplier for extra damage on your 2 and your 1 increase your see my melee crit chance is 416% extra, right? That guarantees red crits with an exclamation mark. Okay. That's usually 2 exclamation marks and sometimes 3 exclamation marks. And then my overguard is 2,000 overguard because of my strength. And then my 20,000 overguard. And my collective curse, I reduce damage. So Covero sends forth a curse that binds enemies. When a cursed enemy takes damage from him, every other cursed enemy also suffers a portion of that damage. So the damage redirection is 100%. So when I hit somebody, every single bit of damage goes to all the other enemies. Okay?
I was wondering that. Does that reduce defense or damage, or does it, like you say, do damage reduction to the other enemies?
It's redirection.
Yeah, okay. So it's not.
It's redirection. So
it's not like a defense, lowest defense level.
I mean, so if you hit one or more than one, you hit all of them for that damage. So
okay.
You want that damage reduction at 100%. So whenever you hit one, you hit all of them for that damage. So if you don't have 100% there, you're only, when you hit one, you're hitting a partial bit of damage to the rest of them. For me, I can wipe everybody in the chain in one attack because I'm getting 100% damage to all of them. And then Nourish means that anybody that does die is going to give me, first of all, I'm increasing my damage by like 41 or 93%, something like that. I never know which one of these damage increases is the right one. And then I'm getting extra damage on my weapon. I'm getting a 2.25% additional energy from any energy source that I get, which keeps the build refunded. So it worked pretty well.
Yeah.
Pretty good burger. There are a couple things I could do a little bit differently. If I really wanted to go a glass cannon, I might swap out like vitality and put in the intensify for the 4, which is precision intensify. That would give me the same durations, less health, so it wouldn't be nearly as tanky. But I would be getting back a lot more from whatever I put on the 4th. And I could put Roar or keep Nourish on there. Either way. I'm pretty fine with the way it is. I have one too many D polarities. Can't wait till the next version comes out, and then, or the next update, we get the Omni Formas. I can build a lot differently. I think the first thing I would Omni format is the damn Exilus slot. That slot bugs me. Hey, Amelia.
G'day.
G'day.
That is Titania.
Oh, and I would recommend like purple shards on your Covero.
Yeah, I have 3 of them on. Fixed to have 3 of them in.
Nice.
Fixing to add 3 of them anyway. I already have 2 on them. I just need to re-equip the first one back to them.
I got some bug spray today. Well, the wife...
Just gotta get the bugs.
Well, that's what's in the spray. It's the bugs. The wife ordered me some probiotic spray. Came in today. I'm currently covered in bacteria. Well, at least my armpits are. We're gonna see how that smells. I don't know if I've kept you up to date on that saga.
You have.
So this is the first day. So we're going to see if that changes things. I was talking nuclear reactors a little while ago. That was fun. Talking about a breeder nuclear reactor.
Don't know what I'm missing. Might be just the weapon I'm using.
You want to have a good weapon. Yeah.
I had 14 like critical multiplier, but I don't know why it's not going up again. Maybe not. Oh well. I use my auto melee.
I recommend, like, there's a bunch of good weapons. If you want, like, The Azothane is a pretty good one. You get that from Duviri. It's a giant katana. And the heavy katanas convert all of their damage to slash damage on a heavy attack. So you want to take with Colvero, the weapon that the melee weapon that you're carrying. You want to take advantage of one that has a useful heavy attack. Okay. Because when you use your one, and if you use it on an enemy, you're going to heavy attack them.
The hostage is almost out of time. Hurry. Take the stars, not a minute too soon. Subject found.
So the Azothane has a really high damage because it's a heavy weapon. It has a high crit multiplier. Of the heavy katanas, it has the highest crit multiplier. Like damage multiplier. So since it has like I think it's got of the heavy katanas, the highest damage and the highest crit multiplier, you can get it really silly high. And then when you heavy attack with it, it will basically hit your target with millions of damage of like hundreds of millions of damage as a slash proc. So every it guarantees a slash proc, 100% chance. So every tick of the game, it's going to redo that damage over and over again, straight to their health, bypassing their shields and their armor and all that other stuff. So it's one of those, like, I can chain enemies together and then hit them with Colvero and they instant die. Like, they don't even get to process that they're dead. Like, it's significant the amount at which they die with that weapon. There's lots of weapons that it can be done with. But it's rather interesting how, like, quickly that one works. It's not my favorite heavy katana.
What's its max critical, was it damage thing? Yeah, multiplier, critical multiplier. I'm curious.
Maximum critical multiplier in the game?
Yeah, the highest you can get.
For, do you have a specific damage type? Because, like, I think the Nucor is pretty high. But that's a gun and not a melee weapon. So it's like,
No,
are you looking for...
I'm talking about the melee that you were talking about.
Oh, for like the Azure thing?
Yeah, how high can it go on its critical multiplier?
Okie dokie. Now remember, that's one part of the equation. So you want to match the critical multiplier, again, with a large amount of damage and good use. Okay, so remember, this, everything from it is going to be converted into a slash proc. So currently mine's at 19.3 times. So that's the crit multiplier. A heavy attack is going to do 5,769 damage as slash damage. That's by itself before its 19 times multiplier. And that 19 times is base as just a crit. But remember that this is going to have a 400% additional crit chance. On top of, it's got, like, you know, ×2 for heavy attacks already on itself. So it starts out with 71. At a ×2 for that, it's going to go up to 100 anyway, right? Because it's a heavy attack. So then you're going to add 400, which means you're going to be at like 500%. So you're going to have red crit with 2 exclamation marks, right? And exclamation marks add bonus damage on top of what you do. Okay? And all of that's converted into a slash proc. So then, since it's a red crit, you multiply your crit multiplier by 4. Okay? So since it's 19.3, it's actually 40, and 9 times 4 is 36. So 76 times. Plus, I didn't even do the 0.3. So it's that's plus 12. So it's 77.2 times that damage. Right? So it gets a little silly as a slash proc. And that's if you're not casting abilities, which on Culvera you are. So it has melee exposure, which on ability cast you gain 60% of the weapon's damage as additional corrosive, which will be converted into, not to mention the weapon is, because of my build, Galvanized Reflex, is going to have like a 5 times melee combo, which is going to give it additional damage. It also has Blood Rush, so it has 200% at that 5 times melee combo, additional crit chance. So it's not going to have just 2 exclamation marks. It's going to have 3 or 4 exclamation marks, which is additional bonus damage. Hi-yi-yi. Yeah. It basically instantly deletes whatever is in front of it as a weapon. Just doing slash damage. Just because it guarantees that slash proc. Is it like the only good weapon? No. Is it a really good weapon for him? Yeah.
I was just curious as how high your damage multiplier is. Just curious.
Currently 19.3.
Okay.
I don't know if you can get something higher on something else, but you also want to have, like, good base damage on the weapon too, and a useful, like, trait. And like with this one, it has 2 useful traits. Melee attacks while blocking release a shockwave, dealing heat damage in a 10-meter radius, staggering enemies. So you can also take advantage of that. Also, any heavy attack converts all of the damage into slash proc, a guaranteed slash proc. So that's really deadly. And that's one of the reasons why I use heavy katanas and the Azothane in particular for his attack weapon. Other good weapons would be like if you use the teleport separate from the attack, so you don't aim at them and teleport, you could use the bonk build, because you could teleport next to them and then bonk. And that would do a massive amount of damage rippling through the chain. You could use like something like Hate Incarnate, because the Hate already does good slash damage on its heavy attacks as well. So there's a lot of options.
Does it need to be slash?
Slash just lets you bypass shields and armor. So it's going to go directly to their health because of how slash works. So usually what you have to do you have access to a web browser right now?
No. Not right now.
You can't look at the internet?
Yeah, I can connect it in and everything.
You just have to be able to look at a web browser like in an internet window.
Yeah.
So what like pick a weapon off the top of your head. A melee weapon.
Gunson or whatever it's called.
Gunson. Okay, hold on a second.
Yeah.
Gun.
Gunson Prime to be specific, because I got a Wyvern for
Gunson
that.
Prime. Okay. So what I'm gonna do is Warframe Gunson Prime. Okay. So now I'm gonna look at the wiki, warframe.wiki, the fandom.com one. Okay. So it uses the stances Slicing Feathers and Votive Onslaught. Okay, so you can look at either one of those, and that's what you want to do next. And if you scroll down a little bit, and it will show you their attacks. Can you see my stream or anything right now?
No, I'm looking at the combos anyway right now, so I know what you're talking about.
Okay, if you look at the heavy attack, like on the wiki, it'll show you that it's called Perfect Cut. Should be the same for both of those, by the way. It shouldn't change. Yeah, it's the same because the heavy attacks are basically based on the weapon, not necessarily the combos, right? But some of the attacks on the stances do change, but the heavy attacks are usually quote unquote the same. So if you look at the Perfect Cut, it's a 2 attack ability. So you can use heavy attack, heavy attack. The first heavy attack will do two attacks, so it hits twice, each one doing 250% the damage of your weapon. Okay. Then it does a knockdown, so it knocks down the enemies, opening them up to ground finishers, and does bleed damage, so it converts damage to slash damage. Okay. So there is a dash modifier on it. So, I think it's the little dash means it's a. I don't remember what the dash means next to it. Maybe that's just because it's the heavy. Yeah, I think all heavies have that. I think that's just because it's the heavy. The second one is a singular attack at 500% damage, still doing a knockdown, still doing bleed damage. Okay, so the first one is like a slash. Like it does 2 hits. And then the second one is just 1 hit. So the first one is, they're both 500% damage, but the first one is separated into 2 hits. So you could miss with one of them or both if they're out of range or something. And then the second one is just 1 hit at 500% damage. And it does convert the damage to slash. So that one's not bad. If you look at the, if I look at the heavy katana, so the Azothane, there we go. Its stance, it is like Wise Razor. So I'll look at Wise Razor. Wise Razor's heavy is Lover's Farewell. Its first attack is 600% damage and a knock-up. So the first hit from it multiplies its damage by 600% and knocks the enemies into the air. The second one does 300% damage and does knock back and slash, and then is a 2-hit, 2-parter. So the first part's in a circle, does knock back and slash, and the second part is in like the second hit is slash and knock down. So if you do 2 heavy attacks, the first one will knock them up, the second one will knock them away and down to the ground.
I think my dog wants out somewhere. I think I have to walk her. No, looks like she went back to bed. I heard her for a moment. Sleep. Okay. So you kind of like look at the weapons that you're thinking about using on a lot of the melee frames, especially for heavy attack frames, and then look at their stances to see what those stances do and how their weapon is, or how the damage is doled out. Because on Colvero, you want a good damaging weapon that has, like, there's 6 or 7 hammers. Which hammer has the highest amount of damage? They're all going to use the same heavy attack, right? So use whichever one has the highest base damage, right? Because that's what you're going to be multiplying by the stuff, the mods, right? And then put that on them.
right? That'd be the Arc of Triton. If you want to use a hammer, I wouldn't use a hammer on him, honestly. They're all about doing slam attacks, and you don't get to do slams.
Magnetic, whatever, magnetic, any good?
The Warframe mag or the damage magnetic?
The magnetic damage, yeah.
Yes, no.
And no.
Yeah, like every damage type has its uses. So magnetic does bonus damage to enemies with overguard. So you're gonna do additional damage to people with, overguard. So that's great. However, it's not super good beyond that. It does do damage to the tech rot. So it's good against them. So if you're going up against the tech rot, go gas magnetic. It's an easy build to build. It's going to do great against them. But that's about it. That's about anybody. That's about like everybody that has any weaknesses to it. And because it's mainly just the tech rot and overguard enemies, it's not that important. It's nice to have it, but it's not one of those like,
if you
this is great.
Viral and magnetic damage, would that help?
Viral is still useful. Viral is going to increase the amount of damage you do to health, or that you do. Maybe it's not to health anymore. Maybe it's that you just do. So you do want viral, but it's easy to get those 10 stacks of viral from lots of different places. So like you usually just want your pet or something doing viral. And then you can have your guns doing corrosive, and then you could double stack the bonus increases on the enemies because you're getting bonus damage since they have viral stacks, and then you're getting bonus damage because you reduce their armor. And then since you're actually shooting with the corrosive, every one of your shots are getting like that increased amount of damage per shot because they still have armor, and you're getting bonus damage against them because they have armor. And that damage is also multiplied because they have viral stacks on them. So they're taking more damage because of that. So that's kind of the better way that most people go, is they have their pets do like viral. And then that means that they have additional, like my pet builds, if it's a melee build, they're going to apply viral and magnetic and impact and a bunch of things like that, and they're going to strip armor and do a bunch of like shenanigans. But most of the time I just want my pets to straight up kill things instead of just toying with them. So I have them apply a bunch of elements and just murder everything.
Okay.
It kind of just depends.
Okay.
Is it bad? Nope.
Okay, how about this build right here? I'll send you it in chat or in game.
Sure.
What? Let's see. Give me a moment. If I can get my controller to stop. There you go.
Prisma Machete. And who are you wanting that for?
Calivo or whatever. I'm using it for range and using it to it spins around when you attack with a heavy attack. So if you have more range on the
yeah, it's
melee,
4 hits.
It would... I've been trying to do that, but I don't know. I'm trying to bring in the enemies so they'll be attacked once they come towards the enemy that got killed with the heavy attack. Using levels 1?
I mean,
dang, stupid control.
It's a way to go, but like you can chain a bunch of enemies all across the room with your chain, and then you can attack just one and kill all of them. Right?
Well, yeah.
So then you don't really have to worry about grouping them. And if you want to group them, then might I introduce you to hold on, I'm bad at names.
Better not
Like-
be what I'm thinking is, and it's the operator ability.
Nautilus. No. Might I introduce you to Nautilus? If you want to group the enemies, I should introduce you to Nautilus. Because he will group them for you. Just constantly. And kill them if you let him. He'll do the mission for you if you let him. Like, so with the machete, there's some problems there. So your heavy attack does 4 hits because you spin around, right?
Yeah.
Like, if you do enough damage to kill the enemies, they're all going to be dead. In addition, what type of damage does it do?
I think it does slash. I'm not really sure. Let me check. Yeah, it does slash.
And then machete. Machete. Okay. So, Prisma Machete uses Sundering Weave, Cyclone Kraken, and Rending Wind, which is only Conclave. Okay. So your heavy attack is first hit is at the first 2 hits are at 150% damage. Wait, no, excuse me. The first attack of the 4 is a double hit at 150% damage. The second attack is a single hit that does slash damage at 150% damage. Okay. The third hit is 150% damage with no additional modifier. And the fourth hit is 150% damage with a knockback and it opens them for finishers. Okay. Do you see a problem here?
No.
Okay.
No.
Let's look at the damage that you do with Azothane. It does a singular hit with 600% damage as slash damage. This one does 2 attacks with no slash, moves on, and if you hit them with the next one, then you get the slash damage at 150% damage. So, sure, you can get a slash proc, but it's the second hit of it. So as you're spinning, it's the second spin, not the first spin, which hits twice, by the way. The first spin, it hits 2 different ways. That first spin, because you wind up and then you go into the spin. The wind up hits, and then the start of the spin is the first. Okay. Then somewhere in the spin, it will apply the slash proc if you hit them with that. And then there's another one without any damage. And then there is the last part of it where you slam into the ground, I think is the, where you pull backwards on it at the very end of the spin. And then that one does knockback and knock down. Okay. But here's the thing. With that weapon, if you initiate this and you're chained to these people, the chain goes off after the first instance of damage. If I remember correctly, it doesn't go through the whole thing. And you might... So I don't know if that's a good one for it. You could have just 600% damage. as one slash proc. Or you could have a slash proc with only 150% damage if you hit them with that one. So that's why I'm like looking at the how the damage is broken down on the weapon lets you kind of figure out, and then you can test it. Like I don't know, maybe the chains stay the whole time, or maybe they might stay the whole time.
No, they got duration on them.
Yeah,
If I remember correctly, anyway.
there is duration on them.
Yeah.
I know that part is true. So it's like, So I would go with a big hitting weapon. Like your heavy swords, I would go with a heavy sword or a heavy katana or an axe. I'd go with one of those kind of weapons. If I'm looking for a weapon for Culvero, you want something that does a whole bunch of damage and it's like singular hit. The fast weapons, daggers, short swords, kunai, those kind of things. Gun blades, I wouldn't go with them either. I tried gun blades on them. They're not terrible, but they're a little bit weird. I wouldn't really do them. The problem with the gun blades is because you teleport to the enemy, the gun blades have a knockdown effect on their heavy attack. So you're liable to push the enemy out of the way, and like the pellets like start at the end of the gun, and since you teleport to them, you're liable to just knock them down and not do any damage to them. It's a bit herky jerky.
What about what is it called? Gladium. Can't really say it right. But anyway, it's a large sword.
Can you spell it?
Starts with G-A-L-A-T-I-N-E. Was it? That's how you spell it?
G-A-L-A. Galantine. That's a good one. That's a large. Yeah, let's see what it does. That's probably going to be a good choice. You can't say for sure. Let me look. G-A-L-A-T-I-N-E. Galantine.
I don't really got any ribbons for it, but I know that I can use it properly. I just don't know if it spins, and that's what I'm trying to...
Cleaving Whirlwind. The heavy attack does 600% and knock up and 600% and knock down. Does not apply like slash. So it will apply whatever the weapon's damages are at an increased damage. So it's not bad. The weapon for the Galantine is a impact weapon. If I remember correctly. Hold on. I might not have that right. Okay, no, the Galantine is a slash weapon. So it will do slash damage if you have good status chance on the weapon. Okay? So more often than not, because this doesn't have a guaranteed status effect on crowdfall, the first hit knocks them up, second hit knocks them down. Okay? So if you do it twice, each one is at 600% the damage. Okay. So you are getting that full bonus per hit. Then it just kind of depends on your status chance. So you can build a heavy attack build with it for them. Let's see. I have slash as my primary. I've got 45% of my hits are going to apply slash, heat, or viral. So, and yeah, you could make that. You could make that one work. It's not a bad weapon.
Question: Does it sounds strange, but will the throwing weapons do any better range and anything?
Throwing weapon? I mean, if you're throwing them, But
Yeah.
with Culvero, you're not throwing them.
Yes, you are.
Like, not with a
does heavy
teleport.
attack. Yes, it does.
That's not how you throw one of those, though.
Yeah,
To throw a throwing weapon, you do a light attack. Just one singular light attack, which will throw the weapon. And then to cause the weapon to do the heavy attack and explode, you use the heavy attack while it's not in your hand. That causes the weapon to explode.
It does. I can prove it, actually. I did it on the survival mission, and it does explode when you use it.
Yeah, if you've thrown it with a light attack, then you heavy attack to make it explode. But you gotta do the light attack first.
Not really, no. I'll show you real quick. Let me share my screen and I'll show you what I mean. It's kind of weird, actually, because it's really,
You might learn something.
really slow. As soon as I figure out which mods I'm going to show, I'll use. Either way. Where did I put that? Oh, there it is. Dang it. Alright. Let me go to the,
I'm on the way to the simulacrum right now. Did you want me to invite you?
Yeah, why don't you? That way I can show you ahead of time.
Yeah.
That way I don't have to show my screen.
Yeah, that works. Okay, in just a second, I'll send the invite. I'm loading in. It's 2 loads because you can't go straight there. Okay. And then shout out.
Make sure you pause the enemy so I don't get attacked when I'm actually using
There's no
this.
enemies right now.
That's what I'm at. When you spawn them, make sure you pause them.
Oh, you need one spawned?
Yeah, I want to show you it. This 20 of them I do. Just make sure it's paused so I don't...
Yeah, their AI's paused. I'm going, heavy attacks don't throw the glaives.
It's not that I'm talking about.
Heavy attack causes the glaive once you've thrown them to blow up. Oh, my pet's gonna kill them all. I need to dismiss my pet. Take a break. Sorry, I had to get rid of my pet because he's gonna kill them all. What's going on?
Yeah, kill him and now... Let's see. I'm missing something. Oh wait. Am I? Maybe damage? Or maybe if I get rid of the that let's see. Alright, I'm gonna try again. This time I changed the damage type a little bit. You see it does range and everything, and it does explode, but I'm just not getting enough damage.
Hmm.
Hmm.
You're saying the one with Colvero?
Yeah, I'm using the one. I just don't got enough multiplier, critical multiplier with this weapon. It does work. It's just not enough damage.
Well, you do want to chain them.
Oh, guess that would work. Yeah. Hmm. Hmm.
Don't forget to chain them, though.
You already chained them, right?
That's
So-
for me, though. It's not for you.
Oh, okay. Well.
It's your damage. So you want to put your chains on them, too.
Yeah, I did.
Okay. Oh, I see some red ones back there.
Hmm. Hmm. Don't know what. Hmm. I really don't like melees that you have to throw, though. Oh, well.
Yeah. This is why I like the Azza thing.
Oh, okay. Huh.
So, like, the slash proc will kill all of the enemies. So, just that alone, like, if I chain these guys together, I can't really get that guy in the back, and then, whoops, too far. Okay, so let me go and, like, get a full set of them up.
There's nothing
Right.
I want to try on those enemies anyway. Let me,
But, like, watch this. Did you see that?
no, what did you do?
That was the Azza thing. So I'm just gonna
Oh.
spawn them and then chain them. So watch. So I'm just gonna chain these guys.
Oh, wow.
That's the Azza thing. Do you see the difference between the weapons that we're using?
Yeah.
And they're all good builds, the weapons that I was using. It's just when you have a 600% slash guaranteed slash proc, the enemies evaporate. When all of that damage converted to just like straight murder their health, they evaporate.
Let me,
Hate will be like that too. Like if you use hate, because it does a guaranteed slash. Hey, see, you killed them pretty good there.
I'm trying to get a combo multiplier so I can get into the,
Do you have the router?
Oh, that's why, okay, I tried
If you have the router, put that on. It's a shotgun. It's a primary weapon.
Yeah,
And it actually has a combo with him. It does more. All right, now check your melee combo multiplier. You should notice that your melee combo multiplier is like stacked. Well, they're dead. They died from, I don't know if you noticed it, but I think they died from you just getting overguard. Once you chained them and had like a combo counter, they died from overguard. With your combo multiplier. So it's finding that like good weapon.
Well,
Even if I don't get a good hit off, they should die from the slash proc.
huh. Oh well. Maybe. Well, did I? Does it need status, basically, too?
Well, for the ones that apply it automatically, no. Status is for the ones that don't, because then it's based on your status chance on whether you get damage or status effects.
Okay, so it don't really need status for. Okay, that's good to know. If that's the case, then I don't really need status then, huh?
So it just kind of depends on if it's an automatically, if the status, if you're going for a bleed proc on one that guarantees it, then you don't have to worry about it, because it's guaranteed. If you're going for like your elements that are on like a regular weapon, then you kind of might.
No, they're not doing enough damage. Huh. That's weird. Well, I wanted to show you the glaive or whatever it's called. The
Glaive Prime?
give me a moment. Yeah, glaive prime. The damage it does. I guess I was wrong about that. It does do range damage and everything. You don't even need the maybe I use this instead. That way my damage multiplier doesn't go down.
The one roll on top wasn't hovering, like it wasn't being carried in the air the entire time, was it, by the crane?
Not sure what you're talking about.
Magic is showing me his load on the back of a truck. And he's got 3 spools, looks like spools of metal on pallets, but the pallets are like resting on top of the other spools. And there's a 4th one that's literally being held up by the crane. The truck has a crane to lift things onto it, and it's still being held by the crane. So it literally drove. Yeah, you would not want to do that in real life. Sure, it might work in the video game, but you'd be reported in a heartbeat going down the highway. Because I'm going, that top pallet of like wood or whatever the flat stuff is slid back a little bit. And I'm like, because of the rolls pressing on it. I don't think OSHA would approve. He got the load delivered. Metal beams.
Let's see.
Yeah, I couldn't tell what they were. I just saw that they were flat things and like, okay. But the top one being shifted back. Yeah, I literally saw a post earlier this week where somebody had a rod fly through their window and go between the driver and passenger seat. And it's one of those, you know, almost ended their life. Missed them by 6 inches.
Oh well. There goes my hope of using the Glaive Prime as a substitute for a melee weapon.
I mean, the Glaive Prime is a good weapon. Like, it will kill these guys. But I don't know how it works in hand. It could also just be the build on it. I don't know. Like, I'll put on my Glaive Prime and see what it does to these guys.
Well, it does got a range of 7 meters, but
If they're chained together, that shouldn't matter. That's the thing. If they're chained, it shouldn't be a problem. So I'll swap over to the Glaive Prime here in a minute, and then I'll try it. Okay, let's spawn enemies. So what are the round things there? We know the flat ones are the, you know, metal bars. Just metal rolls. Okay. Glaive Prime. Okay. I forgot to chain them. My bad. Yeah, it doesn't do the heavy attack explosion when you do the melee attack. I'm sorry.
It does.
No, it doesn't. Watch the difference in this damage. So I'm going to chain these guys. Okay. And now I'm going to do the heavy attack on them. Do you see that? Right? It's doing 22k damage and not killing them. But watch this. That's the real heavy attack explosion. It's doing a fake thing because heavy attacks don't cause it to explode in your hand. Like, if you heavy attack while holding it in your hand, it doesn't explode. So it's doing some fake sort of pseudo regular attack into it where it looks like it's getting some of the heavy attack stuff. I don't know what it's doing. But if you want to watch, like, do it, stand there, just stand there and do a light attack, and then while it's in the air, do a heavy attack. So just stand there and do a light attack, and then while it's in the air, you don't jump. Just do a light attack, and then while it's at, don't jump. Do a heavy attack. So do a light attack, and then do a heavy attack. Don't really aim at the ground either. You don't want it to bounce back at you. Okay. I don't think you're doing a heavy attack.
Well...
You gotta check and see what your heavy attack button is.
There we go.
Yeah, that one looked maybe like it. Don't aim at the... yeah. Yeah, that one worked. So aim like right above them and do that.
Dang it. Oh, okay.
And that's how you get the full damage off. So you want to chain them together. I find a good place to chain them from is over here on the side. And then do that to them, and you should kill them.
Huh.
Because see, that's got a slash proc on them. And see, they'll die from the slash proc usually just by itself. And then it's just like, what's your build for it?
So it don't explode when you don't push the R3 button, basically.
It does. Like, watch mine. I'm just going to throw it out and it's going to hit one and it's going to explode, but it doesn't do nearly as much damage because it's not giving the heavy attack damage. So you want to you want to explode it like right after it hits the enemies and you'll get both of them. Night magic.
At least it loans something, I guess.
Yeah. And
now
that's
I know why I keep on failing the...
I missed them. Here we go.
Huh. I always thought this light attack would like throwing attack would work. I guess I have to use the R3, you know, the heavy attack then.
Like, I have my heavy attack. My light attack is roll down on the mouse scroll wheel. It lets me, like, do, like, a lot of fast attacks and stuff just by scrolling down over and over again. Right?
You're still not getting my point, though.
I haven't even gotten to mine yet. So,
Well,
hold on. I'll stop what I was talking about. And what were you talking about?
I forget what I was going to say, but go ahead. I'm bad.
Fine. And then my heavy attack is the center mouse click where you go, where you press down on the mouse. So I can just scroll down, right, to throw it with the light attack. And then to explode it, I press the same button in instead of scrolling on it. And then that lets me easily with one finger on one button do both the throw and the explosion so that I can control glaives really well. And so I kind of recommend people resetting their light attack to like scroll wheel down. And my scroll wheel up, by the way, changes which ability I have selected. So nobody ever uses that, but I still kind of do. I don't really ever use it myself, but I do use the scroll down and then the middle mouse click of pressing down on my scroll wheel to do the heavy attack to blow things up. It still lets me like jump and then middle mouse click to do a heavy attack. And if I want to do a light attack, I just jump and then scroll down.
Yeah. What I'm trying to say is that the forceability of Carlos, whatever his name is, does a heavy attack. It does do a heavy attack and it does explode. It's just the
it's just not a real one because the glaive doesn't explode for the real damage when you're holding it.
It does. I just really have not enough DPS or something like that on it.
This is why I say it doesn't.
Something I'm doing.
This is why I say it doesn't. So pay attention. I'm going to chain these guys together. Okay. Watch what happens when I do an actual heavy attack with a glaive. That was a real heavy attack with the glaive. Okay, now watch what happens when Colvero does a heavy attack with the glaive.
Oh,
did that guy die like all the rest of them did a second ago?
No. My
Yeah,
bad.
no, he
Sorry.
didn't. He took barely any damage with the fake heavy attack explosion.
Huh.
And
I always
remember,
thought that the ability used the heavy attack level.
and to express the point home a little bit better, right? This one here does not have Colvero's dash boost of 300% more crit chance and all of that. Okay, this one here does not have his boost.
Alright.
I didn't use his dash. But when I attacked the other guy a second ago with his fake heavy attack, I did use the dash. So it has 400% more crit chance, right? And it still didn't kill that guy. But the real heavy attack of the glaive does absolutely kill them all. Because it's using a fake one when Culvero's holding a glaive. It is not worth using Culvero's ability on an enemy. What you want to do to maximize the damage with Culvero and a glaive, which will work, is to do this. You chain them first. Okay. Then you use his dash, and then you throw the glaive out and bust it.
Oh.
I used the dash not on an enemy, and only one guy survived with a tiny bit of life. And I think he just got hit with the AoE and wasn't actually chained, is what I think it was. I don't think he was chained with the rest of them. But you get the idea.
Yeah. You don't attack him with the teleport to attack him.
Not with a teleport, no. Not if you're using a glaive. If you have a real, like, not a non-glaive, you have a weapon that actually has a close range heavy attack, then it'll work fine. But the glaives don't work right for that. Like, I have no idea how this one work. This is just a kit gun melee that I built. I'm out of energy. Okay. So this is one of the Zaws. Okay. It did not kill them, but it took them to half-life. It does not do a slash damage. 3 hits kind of kills them. 4 definitely does. This Zaw isn't that good for it. I think this one is made for... Nope, that was a slam. I don't remember what the Zaw is for.
I like the inverted ability, though.
Yeah, I like being able to teleport around super quick. Just tap and go wherever you're looking. That is useful. If you ever want to race through a map, Culvero wins. The Paracesis is pretty good for it, by the way. It's not too bad for it.
Well,
May not be the best.
might have been doing it incorrectly, but at least I tried.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the more that you learn and get the handle of people, the better you are at, like, murdering stuff with them. The Paracesis is not good on him. That's sad. I do like the sword. Yeah, that's sad damage. It does not do a good damage type on a heavy attack. Oh. Ouchie. I had him like 3 times and barely took off any life, and my Paracesis is built. I'm like, oof. Bot spams. It's bot. That's what they said.
Okay, I get you what you mean now. Sort of. So I've been using his ability incorrectly then.
Maybe. It kind of depends on the weapon you were holding. Like, sometimes you want to teleport next to them and then heavy attack with something. Sometimes you want to actually aim at them and heavy attack. But having the tap ability to just, like, go wherever you're looking, super useful.
Yeah, I see that now.
Yeah, like, I just want to be over here now. Yep, I'm at the door. And even if you tap looking at the air, you'll just go to the distance that you can teleport, which is like, that's kind of useful for me. Like, at 175, it's a good teleport range. And you just look at the ground, it's like, you can get around so easy. And every time, by the way, if your melee has the crescendo, on it, every time you teleport, you get like 30% more of extra damage as corrosive damage on your melee weapon, right? And then if you're using a weapon that converts all damage into a slash proc, that extra corrosive damage gets converted into a slash proc. That's why I'm like, there's certain weapons that are just superly overpowered in his hand. So as you teleport around the map, you're like racking up bonus damage that gets converted into like more murder. But like the Zorus that I was holding, it's a good glaive. It just converts all its damage into electric, which if you build it right, you can then proc the electric arcane, that whenever you do electric damage, it does all of the damage types that are on your weapon to everything in like a 20-meter range, which is a combo with it, which you can kill entire rooms by throwing the Zorus out and doing a massive electric proc, and then doing secondary damage of all of the fire and radiation and everything else that you have built up on the weapon, so that you get that off too from the arcane on it, and you'll basically wipe the room. And the Zorus is a free glaive that everybody gets. Oh wait, there's an enemy over here. I'm like, where did you come from, mister? I saw a red thing on the map. I'm like, oh, murder. Alright, I'm probably going to head back to the ship. Did you need anything else in testing?
Nah, I just... Thank you for showing me out. I didn't understand a little bit about it, but now I do.
I constantly learn new stuff myself in the game and about how its systems work. So that's why I was like I didn't know that the glaive actually blew up, right? I didn't think it did. So we both learned something about it in that circumstance. The downside is that it doesn't blow up for the real damage that it does. It has a pseudo, like it creates its own sort of heavy attack in that situation. And it's not the real heavy attack that the weapon can do and is known for. It's not the in-flight heavy attack. It's just like a base heavy attack. And the in-flight one is way more like damaging and powerful. You can get a lot more use out of it. Especially for the Glaive Prime. At one time, the Glaive Prime was the most used melee weapon in the game. And it is one of the most expensive weapons, even now, if I remember correctly. It's still, like, super expensive.
I wonder if I got any works for that weapon. Not sure.
If you have... Oh, if you do, you can sell the relics by themselves, I think. Warframe.market?
Nope.
Oh, you don't? Yeah, it's pretty rare. It's been... The glaive has been in the, like, you know, locked up for a long time. So the Axie R4 is a relic for it. So Warframe.market. So that's one of the relics. Axie R4 sells for about 10 plat each. The Axie E1 which is another one, sells for about 10 plat. The Lith G1 19 plat, 20 plat, Meso B10. Excuse me. Lith G1. I looked up the Axie G1. Lith G1. Get the right one. Oh, excuse me. The Lith G1 is 45 plat. Wow. The Meso B10. Do you know why the relics are so expensive? You can get multiples. So the Meso B10 doesn't even have anybody online selling them right now. Yeah, you'd probably get 10 for each one. Neo G6. I did it again. I did Lith. Meso. Why am I bad at typing and searching and doing things? Yeah, they're 10 each for the Mesos. Neo G6. Okay, that's about 10 as well. And then the Neo S5.
Mesa G6, what?
Uh-huh. The Neo G6. Neo G6.
Oh, okay. No, I don't got any of those.
So the Neo S5 is about 20 plat. So here's the reason why relics are more valuable than like the other stuff. Because if you are a parts seller, Russian mafia member, you can go crack relics with your 3 alternate accounts. Right? So I have builds where I can solo the mission. Correct? So I can put up the Neo G6 and have my alternate accounts just put up garbage. And if the part drops, we get 4 of the rare part. Right? Mm-hmm. And if all 4 of those people are virtual machines on my computer also playing, because I'm, multi-boxing it, right? Or they're the people that work with me in Cambodia and the Philippines, for pennies a day, then that's the reason why the relics are better, because you can get multiples of the item. Then the items can all be funneled over to the main account where they're sold in the Russian clan dojos. And I'm not kidding about that. You know about that, right?
That there is like an actual Russian mafia that helps control the economy of Warframe.
What?
You don't know about this? Look it up.
No, I did not.
So, if you ever like buy and sell like prime parts and stuff on the market and things, a lot of the times you'll end up in Russian dojos. It's not like, well, there's sure are a lot of Russian people that play the game. No, the economy of Warframe was kind of taken over years ago by like a Russian mafia. So like the main website that a lot of people use for like gauging prices and stuff, and I even tell people about it, has no affiliation with Warframe. Okay, so how do you know what something is worth? How much platinum is something worth? How do you know?
Yeah, get your point. Somewhat.
So you have to gauge the market. Okay, so this is how I teach people: is like if you want to make the most out of your money, you be a douchebag, you be a sociopath. Okay, you go into trade chat and say that you're looking to sell an item for a certain amount of platinum, and then everybody that replies to you, you tell them, I'm sorry, I've already promised to somebody else to sell it. Okay. So today you say, I'm looking to sell this for 10 platinum. And you gauge how quickly the replies come in. Did they take a long time? Did they come in quick? Okay. If they came in quick, oh, it's worth more than that. And then everybody that replied to you say, I'm sorry, somebody beat you to it. I've already got a buyer. Tomorrow, right? You come in, you go, I'm looking to sell this item for 20 platinum. Did they come in quick? If they did, oh, it's worth more than that. Everybody you replied to them, I've already got a buyer. I'm sorry. Somebody beat you to it. Okay, this is how you truthfully gauge the market. Right? So you keep doing this until the people stop coming in quickly. So now you're up to like 80 platinum, right? For this item. And people are like, they're actually thinking about it. I'm like, okay. So people came in pretty quickly yesterday, but at 80 they're not coming in right away, they're thinking about it. Well, then I'll try to sell it for 80 for the next couple days. People might get desperate. They might like really want it, and then I'll make a good amount of money. Now, that takes time. Time is money, right? That takes days of offering to sell it and lying to people that you've already got a buyer, right? And risking somebody recognizing you, so maybe having a second account where you can chat and be like, hey, I'm trying to sell this thing. You know, having those awkward conversations with somebody goes, weren't you trying to sell this a few days ago? It's like, oh, yeah, I got another one. You know, whatever. Or you could have like a place where there are prices, where people are like doing the same thing. I'm trying to sell this. I'm going to try to undercut that guy. I'm going to sell it, you know, like yada, yada, yada. I'm just going to put it up there and let me know if they want to buy it. Okay. Here's the problem with Warframe.market. This is that site that they're not affiliated with. I can create an account and put up an item that I don't have. Okay. For less price than what you're selling yours at, because I want to run down the price. Okay. And then other people will try to outbid us by putting theirs up for less price than me. Right? So I'm actively reducing the price, the value of these items, because they're trying to get theirs sold. Right? And I want to buy the item for cheaper than what you were selling it for. Right? So when somebody undercuts me, then I'll reach out to them and offer to buy it. And if people offer to buy mine, I'll tell them, oh, I've already sold it. I forgot to take down my listing. Right? And then I take it down. I'm like, oh, somebody has already beat you to it, and I'll just take it down and remove what I had posted. Right? That kind of thing. That happens. It's called market manipulation. Okay? That happens on that website. By the way, it also happens by the Mafia. So that way people go to the website and they're like, I wonder how much is this worth? Oh, it looks like it's worth around 10 platinum. So then they'll go to chat and they'll try to sell it for 10 platinum in game. And immediately people will rush to them and buy it. Right? Because that's where they get the vast majority of their stuff to sell. Right? The thing is, they've also set the prices. So they've got it there and they'll hold on to it for a while. Price and demand. Until it becomes more rare, and then they'll jack the prices up. They have an infinite amount of storage space, right? So then, as soon as the prime thing goes into the vault, then they jack the prices up. They clear off all their fake stuff, and they sell it for the like a more like normal price, a more like expensive price. But they have all of the supply. Now there's an artificial demand because, you know, something's in the vault. It's rare. You can't get it through relics anymore, you know? You're back.
Okay.
Okay, I'm back.
Welcome back.
Thank you, thank you. I'll get some Fig Newtons. You can drink too.
You got any tips on killing 3 enemies with a headshot? In one shot?
Yeah.
To make it more easier, what I mean by that.
Fig Newton.
Hmm?
I'm eating a Fig Newton.
Oh.
My mouth was full of flavored goodness. There's several ways to do it. First of all, bows are pretty useful.
Yeah, I
punch
need
through.
to do it with a shotgun.
Is this unlocking a ribbon?
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a cipher?
Sniper?
Cipher.
Do a Cipher?
Yeah. Go see Teshin.
STEFLOS?
Go see Stephalos?
Yeah, is that the one you're talking about?
No. Go see Teshin.
Mm-hmm.
So
Is it something yes right now?
yeah, it'll unlock it right now. So if you go to your little console for the syndicates, you go to the last tab at the top, miscellaneous, and you hit Conclave. And then there's a Visit Conclave button. Click the Visit Conclave button. I'll ask you if you want to go to the relay, and you're like, yes, hit OK. You'll end up going to Strata Relay. You'll be at the bottom of the ramp, the little hill that leads up to Teshin. Turn to your left, go up the hill. At the top of the hill, Teshin's shadow will be standing there. Could be Teshin. It kind of depends on how far you've gotten in the story. Talk to him. Hit Steel Path Honors. The first thing he's selling should be a Riven Cipher. Cipher.
Oh, you're talking about Cipher. Yeah, I already got that.
You already bought that for the week?
Yeah.
You've already used it?
Talking about, yeah.
Damn.
I just do it mainly then. I thought you were talking about a gun.
So then the best way to is not while aim gliding, right?
It's aim gliding. That's what I'm having trouble with. Anything else but having to shoot at 3 enemies while aim gliding.
Zephyr gives you more aim glide time. Do you have Zephyr?
Yeah, I do.
That'll give you more hang time in the air. You could use Vauban.
Retard on this gun is really bad. Oh well, I use a different gun then.
So Vauban will lift up the enemies and put their heads like So with Vauban, what you do is you tap his 4 and throw it out. And the enemies will walk to the edge and get lifted into the air and put their heads in a line. So that's one way. You want to go with like Corpus. They're a little bit easier to get headshots on. They have bigger heads and helmets and bigger head boxes. Where the Grenier the Grenier have those shoulder back pieces. Yeah, you have to get kills. The Greniers have shoulder back pieces that get in the way. If you hit those and kill them, then that doesn't count. That's why the Corpus are better. Vauban, Corpus. Accuracy on your shotgun is good. Punch through also helps so that the bullets keep going.
Maybe I can do in a survival and Corpus like you said. Maybe it'd be easier, like you said.
And you just have to get 3 headshots, right? You don't have to get 3 headshot kills.
Headshot kills, yeah.
Oh, it is
And a
kills.
single aim.
Yeah. It's not one shot though, luckily. You can get 3 different in like one aim glide. So like Vauban will line enemies up and you can shoot their head in an aim glide. With Zephyr, you can get 3 different headshots because you have a long aim glide. A little bit more difficult. Those would be the 2 I'd recommend. Usually when I get that one, I'm like, it's too much fucking work for this. So I just use a cipher on it.
I almost got it.
Nice. Sounds like that was the first try. Keep at it. You'll get it.
Let's see. Dang it. Maybe if I didn't have a energy weapon, I could use it, do it, but need to do somewhere where I'm more.
Alan. Ellen. Well, that makes more sense, but that feels very Taunton. Stevie and Ellen, which sounds a lot like Alan. Which are the lesbians, they live down the road. It's Steve and Alan. It's... God love you.
Oh, I know.
Stevie, what do you do for a living?
Not thinking about that.
Oh, right, okay. No, I mean, what...
I can use, what's your face, Envower, and shoot the energy weapon with whole, 3 or 2, I forget which one it is, and aim it at the opponent's heads and get the shot. Oh, no,
Yeah.
I would have to be in the air to do so. Never mind.
Yeah, you do have to be aim gliding. That's the downside. There's apparently there's some fans on Jupiter tile set somewhere and you can endlessly aim glide on top of them. And if you're using Zephyr, you get the slow motion aim glide instead of the bouncy aim glide. So that can keep you in the air for a long time while you get 3 kills. I think I'm good for video game for the evening.
Yeah.
I've gotten all my general stuff taken care of. My night wave is caught up. Everything I'm doing. I'm mostly caught up on the Steel Path stuff. I think I'm gonna watch some cartoons and then turn in early, I guess, probably. I have to wake the wife up, but yeah. Alright, so for those who stopped by the stream, thanks. Peace. Take care. Stay safe. Try to be